What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 26th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Took it right in the prison pocket last night. Unmitigated fucking disaster in MLB. And it was difficult. And the season hasn't gotten away from me yet, but it can. It's possible. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I can change. And the one thing, I'm just being too passive. And I know that when baseball is our only sport that we are attacking, I'll be making more moves the night before, but I got to switch that up and do it now. Got to start doing that now. And if the market moves against me, or I feel like I'm put myself in a bad situation, I'll just buy out of it. And when I told myself that, I opened up a little bit and made 3 moves. I mean, it was so interesting looking at the card last night. You see the Marquez start. You know that both pitchers have been so bad. Marquez and Corbin, both ERAs over 6, and baseball just messes with you. I know that Patrick Corbin faced the Rockies for 8 innings. 3 starts back. But you would immediately think, man, these guys are going to get lit up. And, of course, I was like, no, this is just fucking baseball messing with us. And, of course, it moves from 8.5 to 8, the total. So I stayed off that one. But I did make moves, and I beat line moves. First 5 over 4.5 in that White Sox game with Keuchel. I also think that Walker's due for regression. I think we spoke about that before his last start. That's now a 5, or was a 5 when I woke up this morning. I'm also on the Red Sox first 5. And then I did move on the Cubs, Reds first 5 under 4.5, and I beat that market move. But I'm uncomfortable. Also, I'm almost completely caught up with all of the stats, and some interesting stats have come out, studying everything and looking at everybody and looking at what everybody's doing. One thing should be mentioned. First off, we have a great show today. We have Mr. Gogster coming up. We have the Big Ragoo, and then we have Dutch Boy Fresh. We've talked a lot about Dutch's record. It's just unbelievable. 52 wins, 28 losses, hitting at 65%, plus 22.48 units, ROI plus 28.1%, average line minus 105. It's unbelievable. For those of you guys who've been watching we've had a whole bunch of different MLB experts. And at this point, Connor Mack has been the best of our experts. He's 8-4 on the show, hitting at 66.7%, plus 5.07 units, ROI over 42%. Average line, important when you watch Connor Mack, a cap plus 113. Dabby Cab, 7-4, 63.6%, plus 3.24 units, ROI 29.45%, average line minus 103. Those are the best 2 guests that we've had thus far. Although it's been very impressive watching Babano pull out of that 1-9 hole he dug himself off the top of the baseball season, because he's 25-24, down 0.2 units. And everything is ready for the, the transparency and honesty that we want to have in the show, regardless of how embarrassing my baseball record is. All right, that's enough of that. That is enough of that. But thank you guys all for joining us. Matty Ice in the house says at a baseball tournament, but wanted to get the play out to my low bag family. Shout out to Matty Ice. Can't wait to see your action. There's Sammy Calmer ready to get to work. Collins Rogers over 20 games in the French Open. There's Fap. A great call, you guys, with Oakland last night. Very angry that I didn't move on it. My guy Jedi for life in the house says today's a new day. I'm gonna get it back. I agree and hope so. Control your vessel in the house. And Jedi for life says already capping the Friday night horse racing card. Razor sharp picks, cash at Fridays. That and says can't wait to hang out with you. That'll be a lot of fun. And don't forget, the Triple Crown's been very bad to me. It's been very bad to me. And watching the Blues come back on the Avs last night was not only shocking and exciting, but made me realize maybe I won't be in as good of a situation as I thought I would be in the futures market. But Belmont Stakes, 3rd jewel of the Triple Crown. That'll be our next full race day. And God, I got to fucking send out some winners because that fucking Preakness was horrifying. Johnny Gonzalez says pumping the Red Sox today against Keuchel. Jedi for Life, though, says Red Sox are due for a loss. I'm off that game for sure. But he says he gets it. Red Girl in the house. Great to see you, Red Girl. There is Clint Star, the diehard MMA podcast. Third period over 2 in NHL elimination game. It was a beautiful bet. And he's coming off that giant, 24-plus unit UFC card. Thank you for joining us, Clint. I did make a bet in NHL. I have moved on one. There's 4 I was almost moving on, but I did pick the one I liked the best and bet it. It was a plus line. Thank you guys so much for joining us. God, it fucking hurts, when I'm not succeeding on the show. And there's been so much winning over the last couple months, and last week and a half or so have been bad, and it just it hurts. It hurts, fucking hurts enormously. But the shit ebbs and flows, and stay focused and trust yourself and attack. Saturated says NHL is the only sport that isn't pegging his prison pocket daily. We'll fix that here. And it's funny. I was thinking today, God, we have all these words for all these terms and for losing. We don't wear them for winning. Where are they for winning? Just losing. Because prison pocket's my go-to, but the bottom mouth has always had a place in my heart. There's Nutflush Allen. Great group. Thank you guys all for joining us. There's Razor Sharp Picks. Big show for Razor tomorrow. Lucas Ryan says it's bag season. Let's get back to work. Yes, let's get back to work. De Niro looking at that under 7 in Tigers Guardians. It's a very interesting spot. Mr. Heat ready to get to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. Clint says you told me a story a few weeks ago about how you turned around your season in a few weeks. And he says that we can turn my year around. Okay, I love hearing that, Clint. And we do that for each other. And the first person to really do that for me was Pistol Pete Loshak in my first year down in Costa Rica when I was struggling in NBA, and I went on that monster run afterwards. It meant a ton to me. So that's what we do for each other. We have each other's back. There's Trawam in the house. All right, and then Clint saying Connor Mack. Yes, C-Mac. Looking very good here. So I have these stats for every single person that's been on the show. The only thing I'm behind right now on is Taint, Say Hey, and Spreadsheet. So I'll get that done, and then I'll be caught up, and it'll feel like I've done my taxes, and I'll be ready to get back to work. All right, let's bring on your first guest. He cashed on the over 6.5. It was a nice bet. Both teams scored first period, did not go through. You would think in a 5-4 overtime win that it would have, but he's running nice here in the playoffs. Please welcome to the show from Belleville, Ontario, Mr. Gogster in the house. Mr. Gogster, what's happening, my man?
Hey, Jamie, guys, how are we doing today? It's a beautiful day here in the old Belleville, Ontario. I think it's a good day to make some money. Hockey game last night. Holy shit, Jim. That goal from McKinnon. What a goal. I thought that was the game, guys. I thought when he scored that, 3-0, good comeback from St. Louis, but I think that's it, guys. And then these guys just are like I got a bad analogy I'm not going to say, so I don't know. They're just like a pest that won't go away, Jimmy. Let's leave it at that. They're like a pest that won't go away, St. Louis. And they pressure them the last 2.5 minutes. They were all over Colorado, and Colorado were just looking scared as, they had the next round right there, and they just gave it up. So I agree with you when you say you're a little nervous.
Yeah, it made me question everything. And Kemper leaving that rebound right there for Thomas. Robert Thomas heard the horrible things I said about him yesterday, and he came up in a big way. But yeah, it made me extremely nervous. If Kemper is going to leave, like that was a side shot, and you're just going to drop that rebound right in front when they have an extra man on the ice was shocking to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it made me very, very uncomfortable.
They needed to play their best game at Colorado in that last 2 minutes, and they just played way too lackadaisical, and St. Louis just fucking smacked them, guys. So, it should be good. This next 2 games here, Jimmy, I think they're just as good. These next 2 games should be just a couple beauties.
I agree. Let's get right to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern this evening. East second round, Game 5 series tied at deuces. New York Rangers were 25-14-2 on the road in the regular season, and they're going to try to put a hole in the Hurricanes' 6-0 home record. I do not remember a time when a team was this close to the conference finals that had not won on the road and hadn't lost at home. I don't remember quite this. Well, I'm sure it's happened, but I can't remember. In recent memory, I can't find it. Shesty is stepping up in a big way. 3 straight games, he's allowed 1 solitary goal. Shesty in the playoffs, 6-4-0, 2.77 goals against average, 925 save percentage. Antti Ranta has been very good in the playoffs as well. 2.09 goals against average, 931 save percentage. Rangers power play dropped a little bit. It dropped a little bit down to 26.7% in the playoffs. But the teams that seem to be playing the best in the playoffs are providing the exact same statistics in the playoffs that they did in the regular season. And the teams that are struggling have completely fallen off in the playoffs. It's a pretty easy thing to say. But the playoffs for the Hurricanes power play, 11.1%. So they're 0 for 9 in the series. And it's got to make you uncomfortable. And if you look at the Rangers team that was so bad 5-on-5 for a lot of the year, I wonder if it would be different if Andrew Kopp, Frank Vetrano, and Tyler Mott had been on their team all year long, because they legitimately plugged holes that this team had, and very impressive work from all of them. And of course, the Canucks give away Tyler Mott for nothing. Now he is 5'10", 198, but he plays like he's 6'3", and they've really put a ton to this team. So in saying all this, before I hand it over to you, I made a bet that I'm very confident. I almost bet 0-0 after the first period.
I just added that. Well, in a way, yeah.
I almost bet. I came very, very close, and maybe I will after we talk about all this. But I did bet the Rangers Carolina under 5 at plus 121. I came very close to taking it under 4.5 at plus 185. Wow. I decided to keep the push available.
2-2. Yeah.
Keep it available. I got minus 135 on the under 5.5 and under, or plus 185 and under 4.5. It had moved 5 cents to minus 1. Now it's back to minus 135. Interesting. So it moved to minus 140. Now it's back to minus 135. I think this will be a similar game as the 2-0 victory that the Hurricanes had, because they can't score on the power play, and they're able to really shut things down at home and clog the lanes. So that's my action. New York, Carolina under 5 plus 121. Take it away, Gogster. Rangers, Hurricanes, game 5.
I don't disagree, Jim. These games the total game in game 4, guys, hit 5 goals. Other than that, you've had 3, 2, and 4. And the fact that Shesterkin, he's getting really hot, Jim. You said it there. He's only allowed 3 goals in his last 3 games. 2 goals in the first game 1. So that's 5 goals in 4 games in the playoffs from Shesterkin. The guy's starting to roll into form. But you look at Ranta, guys. You said it, Jim. He's 5-0 at home here. The one game, I think, Petor, their third string goalie, played. But he's got a .968 save percentage with a 0.97 goals against. This is, I think you're right on with the under, Jim. I played the no goal first 10 minutes. It was plus 100 at 365. I think it's already down to minus 110 now, guys. So I'm going to just rock and roll there. Stopping by for the King of Belleville on the Canes and the under. I like it there, Sladsy. I like it. Looking at the side, though, guys, I'm really not too sure about the side here, Jim. I think it's going to be one of these goalies who's going to steal this game. They're both playing unbelievable. Probably the 2 best goalies left in the playoffs, if you ask me, right here. So under, I think, is the play. I actually added just before the show, kind of slept on this one, woke up. I think it is the play, and that's the first period draw, Jimmy. If it's 0-0, even 1-1, I doubt it's going to be 1-1, but no goal first 10 minutes there, plus 100, and then first period draw is plus 165. I'm gonna really trust it here. These 2 teams, Jimmy, I think they're very similar. Really good goalies, defense is strong. Both teams just seem to are at a stalemate on the ice. So I think we could even see overtime. I'm taking an overtime shot here too, Jimmy. Plus 308.
I thought about that as well.
1-1, 2-2. I think this is literally going to be, it's a 1-goal game. Who's going to win the 1-goal game? I don't know. I think if Carolina doesn't win it, they're in deep trouble here. This is my Stanley Cup team, guys. So Carolina, they're in a very similar situation as Colorado, but it being 2-2, not 3-1. This is a huge game for Carolina. So I hope Carolina wins, but I don't have the balls to put my money on that, Jim. I do have the balls to put it on the draw, the first period draw, and also no goal in the first 10 minutes there, guys. I just have to. The only thing would be really is if just one of these goalies just have a bad night. that could be the only thing, because Rance has looked literally night and day. He's so much more comfortable at home, even dating back to the Boston series. He's been lights out. So Jimmy, give me the under there, buddy. First 10 minutes and some draws. I think we're going to see an overtime game here, similar to game 1.
And did you tweet these out, Gogster?
Yeah, I tweeted them out there probably at 3 a.m. last night.
All right, let me take a look here. The Mr. Gogster's action. The no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds at plus 100. OT at plus 308. First period draw at plus 165. I did, as I started heating up in the playoffs, I did put my unit size back to $200 in NHL, and I'm pretty comfortable just with the best, my favorite bet. Yeah. But if I was having more fun doing this, I would probably place some smaller bets, maybe 50 a pop on no goal.
That's what I do.
I get it. Make it more fun, but
and $50 on a plus 300, pays out nice too. So
it sure does. It sure does. And Slatsy bet that no goal first 9 minutes and 30 seconds here.
Don't try and I'm really trying to not overthink these guys. Don't try and get cute. I've done this in the past on these shows. You try and get cute. Yeah, you can see I'm getting cute with this first period, no goal in the first period, or draw in the first period, no goal in the first 10 minutes. But guys, that's what this series has been doing. 1-1 went to overtime, game 1, 2-0 game 2, 3-1 game 3, and then Carolina or New York Rangers exploded in the game 4 there for 4-1. But this isn't the over game you're going to want to be seeing here. Tight game. I like our picks, Jim.
I do too. I like
Rangers
that first win this spot.
Rangers can win this game. They could win this game 2-1. It's literally, I think this is a real coin flip of a game. The line then in that case, I would be leaning towards the Rangers. But if we're coming down to making money here, I think we're going to make some money in these draws and the no goal.
I like it. I like it very much. And you're right, Cashman, about regulation. Shesty's just been so good. Jeffrey Blue says he will be on 0-0 in the first period. I'm just going to leave it at the under 5 at plus 121.
It was Cashman, yeah.
There's a couple things I can see happening, which is the difficulty of capping. I could see the first period going under 1.5 and there being a goal in the first 10 minutes, something like that. We've seen that before.
It's been common, yeah.
I could see the first period being 0-0 and pushing or losing the full game total, so
I could see the 2-2. But I just really think these two teams, this is game 5. It's a 2-2 series. This is a big game, and this has been a low scoring, tight game the whole series. Why the hell is it not going to be here? So,
and I would much rather play the unders in Carolina than in New York. My preference is to play them in Carolina, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm on the under 5 at plus 121.
I like it, Jimmy.
Gogster moving on 3 separate spots. No goal first 9:30 at plus 100. Overtime at plus 308. And first period draw at plus 165. DJ Big Boss, Dennis Garcia, Real Deal Prime, Jeffrey Blue in the house. Michael Everlina says Hurricanes are just so good at home. Hard not to take them at home, but I have a future on the Rangers, so just praying they can get one. But I still think the Canes are the play, just not at that juice. Yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable with taking them at this number at minus 160 when they can't score on the power play.
I'll throw it out there. I think Rangers win this game. If you had to put a gun to my head, I think Rangers win this game.
Well, I'm going to be very, very interested in it. All right, let's move on to game 2 here, and we'll let Ron Crawford lead us into this, as Ron Crawford has shown no fear. I can't wait to talk about this game, first off. I find it unbelievably fascinating, and I can't fathom that these goalies would look in the same game that Markstrom would allow. Where is the maybe Jose can find the spreadsheet play of the day for. Sorry. Oh, here it is. This is what I meant. Sorry. Ron Crawford NHL spreadsheet play of the day is the Calgary Flames. And Markstrom looked better at times in that game. Letting that first goal in like that was unbelievable. Brought me back to thinking about Mike Smith. But Mike Smith's mistake, was in the third. Mike Smith, sorry. what did I say? Mike Smith. What's his name?
Markstrom?
Oh, no, the defenseman on the Oilers, the Hall of Famer who passed it in off Grant Fuhr's foot.
Oh no, sorry, you're going too far back.
What the hell's wrong with me? He's a Hall of Famer. What the hell's wrong with me? I just went blank there. But the mistake of that magnitude, and then to see Mike Smith then allow Steve Smith. Thank you, Real Deal. Steve Smith. The Steve Smith mistake.
Lance had us too there. Nice.
It reminds me, then you see Mike Smith allow a goal from 165 feet to tie it up in the third period. That really was the Steve Smith mistake, was more what Mike Smith did. To see both goalies make those mistakes is unbelievable.
I don't know how you can't see the puck from the other end of the ice. Like, I know there might be. Yeah. He's just standing there, just like, how do you? You're looking old, man, if you can't see the puck from that far away. Come on, Mikey.
It was shocking. Let's just talk about the line history in these two games. We didn't really touch on the first one. We'll touch on that briefly, and then we'll move on to the second one here. In the first one, we have seen a move towards the Hurricanes. They opened up at minus 145 last night. They're up to minus 160. The total opened up at 5.5 at minus 140. So it's gone down to minus 135, up to minus 140, down to minus 135. That's the first one. In this one, and the fascinating one of the two, Calgary's taken 10 cents. And 10 cents. The last 5-cent move happened an hour ago. So they're up to minus 155. And this total opened up at 6.5, minus 115 to the over. The over's taken 5 more cents. And I get why it has. So let's talk about this spot. Mike Smith, even with that glaring mistake, has a 2.60 goals against average, 931 save percentage. Let's see it. Unbelievable. Show it again. What's he doing? And that's the puck going in.
That's the puck. That's the puck after it's going in. Yeah. And he's just looking around like, what the fuck's going on, guys?
Look at the players. Just kind of look at him like, Mikey, what are you doing? It's a triangle. It's a triangle staring at him.
That's a great clip. That's a great pick, Jose. I love it. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Markstrom, 5.60, 2.78 goals against average, 906 save percentage. And my not having faith in Markstrom is the biggest issue here. And if the Flames lose this game and Markstrom allows 5 goals, what is Calgary going to do over the next 6 years of this contract? Because
what you're going to say.
You've put all the eggs in the Markstrom basket, and he's never done it in the playoffs. I don't think this is going to be something that hangs over his head. He's a good goalie, and he should be able to get through this. He has not been able to, and it's shocking. So the Oilers are 1 win away from making the conference final for the first time since 2006. This power play for the Flames, we start with McDavid, 25 points in 11 games, multi-point performances in 7 straight games. That's 1 shy of the NHL record. Yeah, and he's done that in 10 of 11. Draisaitl is the first player in NHL history to post 4 straight 3-point playoff games. I was shocked that Lemieux had not done it. I thought that Lemieux would have his... Then Evander Kane doesn't fly down with the team because of the birth of his child. So he's going to play in the game, but he didn't join the team on the flight. He's going to play, but didn't join the team on the flight. He is the first player in history. This is shocking. 5 multi-goal games in his team's first 11 games in the postseason. Again, that's another spot where I'm like, wow, you'd think somebody would have done that already, but no. Zach Hyman,
the best player in the league.
Yes. Oh no. I get it. But then Yeri Curry and Glenn Anderson didn't do it. Zach Hyman has scored 7 goals. So you compare those players to Tkachuk, who has 1 point since scoring a hat trick in game 1. Johnny Gaudreau, 0 points in those 2 games in Edmonton. Then you look at the 3-1 deficit. The Flames are 0-9, down 3-1 in their history. The Canucks came back from 3-1 on our way to the Stanley Cup final against the Rangers. And I can remember the Jeff Brown to Pavel Bure goal like it was yesterday. I can remember it like it was 10 minutes ago. We've done it to them. They've never done it to anyone. Edmonton 14-1 when leading a series 3-1. And then you have this absurd goaltending. Take it away, Gogster. How are you betting West second round Oilers Flames Battle of Alberta?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I took Calgary regulation. Do I feel great about it? Up in the air a little bit. Reason being is just, man, I don't know if they're going to get her going. Like they really should be better against this Edmonton team with Smith and the defense they have. I don't think their defense is as strong. Their expected goals too. Calgary, they've been good, Jim. 5.24, 3.5, 2.49, 2.63. They've fallen off completely on those two road games in Edmonton. The Oilers just they outmatched them completely. Edmonton, though, guys, game 2, 9.13 expected goals, Jimmy. That's 9.13. I've never in my life, guys, seen a number that high, and it's not even overtime. 9.13 expected goals from Edmonton in game 2. That is just blasphemy. 5 goals they scored out of it. As much as I do want to blame Markstrom, geez, it seems like Edmonton's just doing what they want against this Calgary Flames team, which looked, a lot better against Dallas. But I guess Dallas just had no offense because Edmonton's running train on them. And, I do think, though, this is too much as a Canadian here, Jim. I'm over in Ontario, but as a Canadian, this game means a lot to Calgary. If they lose this, Jim, they're going to, 3 games down. That's it. They also are trying to bring in a new arena in Calgary because they're bringing in actually the AHL team there. Stockton Heat are leaving Stockton, going to Calgary. So, this is a big game for the city of Calgary. The season they had, this is a team that should be a lot better than what they were. That's kind of the angle I'm going here, Jim. Smith's been okay, nothing crazy. But then the Calgary penalty kill, Jim, it's 95%. The penalty kill has been really good. Edmonton on the road, 79, but their power play too drops from 38% at home, Edmonton, down to 11% on the road. Calgary's got a 15% at home, 11% on the road. So Calgary's just not scoring. I kind of maybe lean towards an under here, Jim. I kind of lean towards a bit of an under here. I don't love it. I had Calgary team total over 3.5 written down. I don't think that's a solid play. I do think this is going to be a cagey battle here. I don't know if we're going to have the goals like we've seen in the last couple of games personally. But I do think Calgary get her done here. If they're winning this game, Jimmy, Edmonton's team total under is not going over 3 or 3.5. Calgary's, they win this game. They got to contain this Edmonton team. Is it going to happen? We'll see. But I do think with the impact of this game for Calgary is just so huge. I do think they're going to come out here. I do think because the defense and Mike Smith, it doesn't scare me like Carolina and the Rangers do. So Calgary's the better team. They're deeper too. They just haven't shown it. They really have not shown it. So I'm going to trust that they are going to show it here, Jimmy. I got plus 101 on the regulation.
If they had have comfortably beaten the Dallas Stars in 5 games, I'd be on Calgary here. But they simply haven't shown it all playoffs long. So what happened was the games got tougher and they haven't stood up. Yeah. And because of that, I just can't put my money on them.
I hear you, man. Because I said to myself, is Edmonton really going to just win here? They could, they could, but I don't personally, Jimmy. I'm going to put my balls on the line here. I do think Calgary get her done. This is biggest game I think in Calgary's. The Battle of Alberta. This is massive, man. This is just it's too big of an implication for Calgary just to not. They're going to pull a St. Louis from last night, guys. They're going to be. They have to. It's in Calgary. This is a huge game for them. I'm going to trust Calgary's going to win.
I'm not. I'm not. There was times, over the last 24 hours where I thought I might end up on Carolina and Calgary on the -1 line, but I can't do it. And I just don't.
If this starts to get in a goal fest, then Calgary's in trouble. If this starts getting a high scoring event, they're in trouble. If
Edmonton goes up 1-0 or 2-0, I wouldn't live bet Calgary right away.
I know. I agree. Calgary's got to come out and just lay the fucking hammer down on this team. And I think they do. I think they're a lot more physical. Stop letting McDavid skate circles around you guys. It's one line that's really beaten you. That second line with Hyman's been decent, but they really have 2 lines too. That fourth line with Archibald and whatnot, that's a grinder line. So come on, Calgary. Let's wake the F up. Let's go, Flames.
Yeah, I'm not going to. And I thought maybe after we talked it out, I would move on Calgary, and nothing happened. Still soft. Not going to do it. But Gogster is going to do it. 4 bets for Gogster. My NHL playoff record has been strong. 15-10, 60%, 5.46 units ROI plus 21.84%, average line plus 102. And I've been very, I don't know, I haven't made many moves. And I'm only making one move today, the under 5 at plus 121 in Rangers, Carolina Hurricanes. I thought maybe I'd get talked. If anything, I got talked into maybe more moves in the Rangers, Hurricanes.
I like that game
series, but I love it. Mr. Gogster, I love capping with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Can I get one more thing? Can I get one more thing out, Jimmy? Just about this game with Calgary, guys. If the Calgary defense, Jim, I think if they look a lot, that's where it starts with. They've allowed 6, 5, 4, and 4. The Calgary defense needs to be much better. There's no injuries. You said it before. Branson, they got a couple guys that you question their skill, their ability, but it all starts with Calgary's back end. If you see their back end looking a lot better, they got a good shot to win this hockey game. I just want to say that.
You talk about the Oilers team that made it in 2006. It was just Pronger and Rolison. And they went all the way, and it was magic to watch them. You need a defenseman like that. The Oilers have Nurse. Nurse is not in Pronger's level, and maybe he'll end up there. But the outlet passes.
He's a big boy, though. He does some of those similar things that Pronger did.
Pronger had the best outlet passes of the decade. There was nobody better in the entire decade, and that's why the Ducks won their cup with Pronger. That's why the Oilers won the cup with Pronger. And Pronger was also evil. He was so mean. Perfect. And Nurse doesn't have that.
Because he's from Peterborough. That's why he played hockey in Peterborough.
but this Flames team does not have that defenseman. There's nowhere that defenseman, and the fact that Branson would even be in the top 6 shows how weak I think their defense is. But we will see.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That's why I say if their defense looks a lot stronger, Jim, they're gonna win. I think they can win. It all starts with the defense. I know we're talking about their offense not being there, but when you're allowing that many goals, you can't win a hockey game.
Well, yeah, Markstrom's got to step up, man, or it's going to be a long 6 years for that contract to play out.
One more thing, Jimmy. AHL hockey, Chicago Wolves guys. I like them coming up tomorrow, and I also like Stockton Heat. They're looking pretty good. Going to close out the Colorado Eagles, and also OHL hockey. A little OHL for you there. Shout out to Hamilton and Babano. Hamilton Bulldogs stole it from Belleville. They've won 11 straight, Jimmy. These guys have just been money. I got their regulation line at minus 154 last night. They play North Bay Battalions tomorrow to close it out. These guys have won. It would be 13 or 12 in a row if they do Friday. So check that out, guys. OHL hockey, Hamilton Bulldogs, just easy money.
Can you tweet out your AHL and OHL action, and I'll make sure to retweet it for everyone?
Can do.
Thank you, Gogster. 4 looks from Gogster. He is on the first period draw in Rangers Hurricanes at plus 165. No goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds at plus 100. OT plus 308. And Calgary regulation at plus 101. I am only on the Rangers Carolina under 5. I use the -1 calculator to get the 5 at plus 121. That's a minus 135 on the under 5.5 and a plus 185 on the under 4.5. And Razor Sharp Picks has a Delaware pick 4, early pick 4. I'm going to pop that up. Much love, Gogster. Get that cash. Thank you for joining us, and we'll rock again.
See you guys next week.
And we'll see if your team is still alive.
Let's go.
There he is, Mr. Gogster. Has follow him at EGO47_. We move on to MLB, and we have the perfect capper to get me off of this terrible week that I'm running right now. Horrific, unmitigated nightmare for me yesterday. It all started with Zapucky getting destroyed by the Giants. Oh, God. It's just everything fell apart for me. And I need a winning day more than ever. And we have just the man for the job coming to us from Ocala, Florida, horse country. Please welcome the Big Ragoo to the show. Ragoo, what's happening, my man?
James, get off the schneid with me, my man. Today we're both going to work it out and get it fucking done.
Well, you've been... Well, you're
losing.
No, not on this show. Look, I know that you are used to having huge plus, glory, but on this show you're 16-16.
Yeah.
Your average line is plus 101. So you're down 0.28 units. And I know that is not where you want to be, but look, you're doing poorly is much better than my doing poorly. So let's join forces. We have great cappers in the chat. You're getting a lot of love from the chat. And let's get
from the chat.
We have a game popping off in 57 minutes. And I moved on it last night, and I'm going to start doing that a lot more here. That's just my only answer. And this is moving against me. This line is moving against me. There's been a 10-cent move against me. I took the first 5 under 4.5 at -115 in Cubs Reds. Cubs 18-25, 11-10 on the road. Reds 13-30, 6-11 at home. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. The first market move on this, I had beaten it. It was going in my direction. Things have clearly changed. Let's take a look at this line history. The Cubs went up to -130 this morning at 7:20. Then they're back now at -115, right where it opened. From a total perspective, it was 8 at -120. It went down to a pick'em. I thought I was in good shape. There's been a 15-cent move since 7:24 a.m. It's now the over 8.5 is now juiced to -125. Let's take a look at the cash in this spot. We have a lot of tickets in already, 8,675. There are 2 teams with full line value and just a couple slivers. Those 2 teams, all you guys know right now, are the Diamondbacks and the Royals. We'll get to them later. Right now, we have 8,675 tickets in. 69% of tickets, 71% of the cash is on the Cubs. And the market not moving with them. There's 54% of tickets and 77% of cash on the under. And it's moving to the over. So that is very uncomfortable. Let me just pull up. I thought I had Swish up, but let me just pull up Swish weather here quickly, and we'll talk about what it looks like here in the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's 72 Fahrenheit at first pitch and 14.8 mile per hour in, and it stays between 14.8 and 12.5 throughout the entire game. Viper says agree with the under, but rain at 50%. So I'll check out RotoWire and see if they also have the rain at 50%. Yeah, 50% chance of participation at first pitch, but then 0 within an hour, and then it comes back a little bit. So yes, that I guess can be an issue. Lance LaRose looking at the steal over in strikeouts. Puzzler says Green is a 1.35 ERA, 0.83 whip over his last 2 starts. Justin Steele in his last start, 7-6 extra inning loss at home to Arizona. He looked good. 5 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 9 Ks and 2 walks, 3.82 ERA, 1.42 whip, and 38 Ks in 33 innings. Not very Justin Steele-like to have that many Ks and that many walks as well. He's only allowed 1 home run in 33 innings. Hunter Green coming off a nice start at Toronto. Now, Toronto wasn't hitting anything at the time. They've stepped it up a little bit, but 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Cubs are hitting 232, 686 OPS versus righties. The Reds don't hit lefties at all. 207, 590 OPS. The Cubs bullpen is light years ahead of the Reds bullpen. Cubs bullpen 3.22 ERA, 1.19 whip have converted 12 of 17. This Reds bullpen 4.76 ERA, 1.39 whip have converted just 7 of 10. Take it away here. The Big Ragoo, Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, 12:35 pops off in less than an hour.
Yeah, I seen those market moves early on. Reading into them a little bit. Just, I think most of it is tied into Steele's, his last couple of outings, more or less. Maybe a little bit overvalue for the Cubs number, but the Reds, they are playing better of late, without a doubt. And just looking at the damn the ERAs with these guys, you're thinking, okay, we know that Cincinnati struggles on the left-handed side of the plate, but 6.43, 6.0 ERA, has a look of an over. That was my initial look, and then I'm reading the articles about Steele and this and that, and I'm like, if I want to get behind somebody, and I know the Cubs, they're a mediocre ball club. This is a shit show, basically, is what it is. But you got a mediocre ball club facing a team that's pretty bad, that's kind of been playing better of late. So in those type situations, I like looking at the runs, so to speak. I know, like I say, Steele's recency numbers look pretty decent overall, the last 30 innings he's thrown. But I just can't look at an under in this spot. I know it's shaded to the over, I think the money line play is in the right spot where it needs to be. You know, it's kind of mean back towards like you said, the 115. I think that's where it should be in reality. If they were on the road, I'd probably say they'd probably be 130, 135, something like that. But anyways, I don't have a play on this particular game, but I would definitely lean towards the over in this spot here. I'm not going to try to get cute on the first 5. I know the Cubs bullpen's a little bit better than the Reds, and these are the type of games that they could end like 2-1, or they can be 10-9. So I would, like I say, I didn't get on this game and any one side in particular, but I would definitely lean towards the over here in this spot.
Well, it makes me very nervous. I hope it's the Reds bullpen that falls apart. I'm a little surprised that the money hasn't moved towards the Cubs, or the market has moved towards the Cubs. I know it moved 15 cents, but to come back 15 cents is surprising to me when you have 69% of the tickets, 72% of cash, and over 9,000 tickets in. Tommy Gunn's on the Cubs minus 120 and the under 4.5 for Tommy Gunn. Joseph Gomez on
both these teams scare me because they could. I know their bats can be kind of sleepy, and the Reds are swinging better bats of late. And the Cubs, when they wake their bats up, they can hit. They got some big guys in the lineup that could hit some for velocity, hit long balls. But I think it's going to be on the performance in the bullpen, to get to that over. And like you said, the Cubs do have a little bit better bullpen. We'll see when they get there. What about the innings? How many innings is Steele thrown his last couple out?
I mean, generally he goes just the 5, enough to record the victory. But let me just pull it up here very quickly. I'll have it right here. See exactly what he's been doing. And Steele, we know that Hunter Green has a ton of potential. And did he turn it around sort of in that Jays game? You're right. 5 innings against Arizona, 6 innings before that against Arizona. So back-to-back starts against Arizona where he shut them down. Then he went 4 versus the Dodgers, 3 versus the Brewers, and 3 versus the Pirates. He keeps facing teams that can't hit lefties, and he's barely getting through enough to qualify for the win.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes.
All right, Roger that saying, let's go Yankees. Can't wait to hear the breakdown you have of this next game. Your 2 teams facing off against each other. Let's move on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. New York Yankees 31-13, 14-6 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays. 26-17, 15-9 at home. We're at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. And for this game, we have the host of Say Hey Plays making his Say Hey play of the day here for our show on this very game. So please welcome Jose Bouquet to the show. Jose, how are you?
Doing well. 3-1 day last night. Can't complain. Very successful season so far, and we're going to keep at it today, of course.
And what does that make your overall record?
Back to 15 units. We were 3-1, up 2 units, so 15.32 on the year. Shout out to the Orioles and the Yankees series this past season, or this past week, for making me a lot of money. It was great.
Well, let's discuss this game. It is great that you have a Say Hey play on it, and I love hearing Ragoo talk about these 2 teams, and they're facing each other. We have Nestor Cortez versus Ryan Yarbrough, and this Yankees with that superlative 31-13 record, 14-6 on the road. We'll see if that starts slowing down. It looks like it has. Will it continue now, especially that Stanton is on the IL? Rays are 26-17, 15-9 at home. Cortez looked a little, you know what? It was impressive. You can say he only went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, homer, 7 Ks against the White Sox, but he faced the White Sox in back-to-back starts, and we know what the White Sox do to lefties. Maybe they haven't been doing it as extreme. They haven't been destroying lefties like they did last year or the year before, but they hit lefties hard, and he faced them twice back-to-back and did a good job. Last one was a 7-5 win at home. Your Ryan Yarbrough coming off an 8-6 extra inning loss at the Orioles, but it wasn't on him. He went 4 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned, no homers, 4 Ks. He has only thrown 15 innings so far, and he doesn't really look like the star of the staff. And maybe he's just not the star of the staff. Yankees versus lefties, 239, 760 OPS. Rays versus lefties, just 246, 687 OPS. A higher average, but no power. Yankees bullpen being excellent, and so is the Rays bullpen. So we have 2 bullpens that's been very, very good. So let's just take a look at the line history and hear what the say hey play of the day is, and then head over to the Big Ragoo. There's been a 5-cent move to the Rays. They opened up at plus 110. They're now at plus 105. From a total perspective, it hasn't moved off that 7.5. Choose to the under at minus 120. Let's take a look at the tickets in this spot. 4,299 tickets in. 55% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the Yankees and Nestor Cortez, and the market's moved 5 cents to the Rays. Then from a total look, 54% of the tickets and 75% of the cash on the over, and the market hasn't moved at all. Say hey, play of the day, Yankees, Rays. Take it away, Jose.
Well, this one is more of a do I know baseball kind of play for me here. Do I know the trends of the last couple of years more than like your field cap and whatever you want to call it. Ryan Yarbrough is someone that I faded. I think every start this year, and I'm 1-2 so far on those fades. I think, and he's not been great, obviously, but he gets the job done. And career versus the Yankees, it's actually hilarious. His numbers: 5-2, 2.4 ERA in 17 innings pitched. Last year, he went 2-0 with a sub-2 ERA against them. Tropicana is a house of horrors for the Yankees. You'll see every Yankee fan on Twitter complain about playing a Tropicana. They have like around a 500 record against the Yankees at Tropicana. And even when all the factors like Nestor Cortez pitching, I hate Yarbrough, the Rays against lefty this month are 86 weighted runs created plus. That's 23rd in the league this month. Yankees are 9th at 109. I'm taking the Rays money line here. And like I said, Ryan Yarbrough is sub-2 ERA against them. I think the I think the Rays will do what the Rays do and shuffle in bullpen arms, get the Yankees off balance. Just do what the Rays do. And what I thought was funny is when you look a little deeper, this month versus lefties at home, the Rays, they've only had 46 plate appearances, so a small sample size, 159 weighted runs created plus. Astronomically high. Away against left-handed pitchers for the Yankees, they're about 100 weighted runs created a plus, 98. So I'm taking the Rays full game here. I got it at plus 105. I even tweeted it out and I gave you a little ad so you can find it, Jim. It will be nice and easy for you. But I think, like I said, I just think that this is just a historical spot where the Yankees struggle at Tropicana Field. And I'm hoping that with the hat that Big Ragoo is wearing, that he is on my side.
Everybody wants to hear what Ragoo is doing here. Billy Friedrich says the question is, who does Ragoo want to win? These are his two teams. I don't care who he wants to win. Who does he think will win?
Who going to cash with? Who have we been cashing with? I told you yesterday, Jimmy. I know we got on the under on that one portion of it, but we did a cash with that Rays first 5 minus a half. Right, that's been pretty good. But we're not in that zone today because of the fact that the Rays are the underdog. And if you want to take plus a half, it's minus 135. So we ain't doing that. We're not doing that today. But Jose and I usually have a pretty good vibe when we're on screen and we agree upon the same game. And I wholeheartedly agree with my guy Jose today. And it's not every day that you get to buy on the Yankees at a cheap price. But in this particular instance, I don't think we're going to get more than 4 innings out of Yarbrough. We know Nestor's going to be kind of nasty, even though he has had not great success against these same Rays over his career in the short term.
Yep.
The Yankees are a little nicked up. LeMahieu is banged up. Stanton's hurt. Chapman's down. Hughes is going to fill in the role for the closing. Both teams have dynamite, bullpens. So I doubt that's going to be a major factor in the game. But like Jose says, when the Yanks come to Trop, they do tend to struggle. And I think they do one-up them when they get in these series, in New York and in Tampa. So my look here is definitely on the Rays full game money line.
Well,
that's official.
Both our cappers back in the Rays full game on the money line. Plus 110 available at Pinnacle.
The only concern is going to be Yarborough early. If he gets touched up, but he's probably going to give up a couple runs early. But I think it's going to kind of come back to the mean where it's going to be a close game. It's not going to be like an 8-9 run game. It's probably going to be more like a 4-2 or 3-2 or I think the total is going to be real close too. I think depending on Yarborough whether that gets close to being an over. But I think Nestor's going to give up probably about 3 or 4, and Yarborough maybe give up, 2 or 3, somewhere in that range. If Tampa's bullpen holds up, then you can chalk up the W for the Rays.
I will add just one last thing here. If you just click on your lovely ESPN stats on the app, you can get a underdog record. The Rays right now 8-2 as an underdog this year so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get this is a rare spot. I mean, this is what happens when you get the top 2 teams playing each other. The only thing is, the Yankees have like about a 68 run differential, and Tampa's got like 17 on the plus side. So I mean, they are outscoring their opponents. But when these two play, like you said, it's a different scenario altogether.
Donut Silk says Ragoo with the homer pick. If it was the homer pick, he'd be on the Yankees.
Yeah, look at my wall back here, man. Come on.
He's a Yankees guy. He just happens to live very close.
I support my local teams.
Ragoo, you going to this game? You going to this game, Ragoo?
No. You know what? Today, I got to take care of a little lady today in my life because 38 years ago, I took a vow to her. So today's my anniversary.
Nice.
The rose petals out for Ragoo today. Romance Ragoo.
I got a busy 4 days coming up.
Oh, respect. And we love you, Donut Silks. I just wanted you to know, the history of our man Ragoo. So Jose Say Hey play of the day is at plus 105. For Ragoo, we can get you, by the way, while I was line shopping, I did happen to notice another half-point move to the Mavericks, and some of the books hanging that Mavericks money line down to 220. We'll have lots of time to get into that. Let's grab that. Now, there's Cove Coleone in the house. Great to see you, Cove. Okay, so we have Ragoo's first official play is on the Rays at plus 110. So Jose in, Ragoo in, and I find it all very, very interesting, and I will be I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. Mike M says Golden State wins by 15. A lot of people think that. But not me. Okay. Love it, Jose. Who is your guest on today's Say Hey Plays of the Day?
Today's Thursday. So today's Bobano. Today we have a lovely show with Bobano. It's going to be a great time. So shout out to him. And Ragoo, by the way, don't forget to stretch tonight. Don't cramp up. Get the hamstrings nice and loose tonight. Don't forget.
I got you, brother. I'll be thinking about you.
Yeah? Wow.
Let's stay focused. Yankees, Rays. Both our guys moving on the Rays. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. That caught me by surprise. Colorado Rockies, 20-23, 6-12 on the road at the Washington Nationals, 15-36 and 17 home. It caught Jose by surprise too. He had to come back. Did you see the one eyebrow go up? Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Let's go over to the. That's the first time I've smiled and laughed in about 24 hours. I needed that badly. So thank you guys for that. It's been a very. All I've been doing is just catching up on stats and watching the losers come in. Rockies Nationals, 73 Fahrenheit at first pitch in D.C., 7.2 miles per hour out to left field. It drops down to 5.8. So we have the wind going out to left field. I can't wait to hear you talk about this spot, Ragoo, because it was one of those spots where I was looking at it, and you look at Marquez, 1-4, 6.14 ERA, 1.59 WHIP. He's been awful this year, and we had Pete Loshak predict that he will be on the DL before June 15th. In his last start, he got destroyed at home. Actually, the bullpen was pretty good in that game. 6 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned runs. But it was just a 5-1 loss at home to the Mets. Patrick Corbin being destroyed 2 straight outings. He's allowed 5 earned runs. He's 0-7 on the year, 6.60 ERA, 1.69 WHIP, and 20 walks and 43 2/3. And against lefties, the Rockies are hitting 306 with 814 OPS. Nats are hitting okay against righties, no power, but 255, 691 OPS. Both bullpens are terrible, especially the Rockies. Ron Crawford saying Colorado Rockies spreadsheet dog. I completely get it. But I also know that anybody 5 years ago, I'd be first 5 over, full game over. And I'd be like, how could it have gone down to 8? I'd wake up in the morning all angry. But now I know that you just don't believe what you see. The Rockies have had a 5-cent move towards them. They're now minus 105. This total actually went back up to 8.5 at 9 and 9:30, but now it's back down to 8. So it's dropped a half run. And then let's look at the cash. I would imagine the tickets would be on the over, and that's true. So it is true. So, I mean, the 68% of the tickets are on the over, but 45% of the cash. And the sharps were just when I looked at this line and everything, I was like, oh, these sharps must be licking their chops, knowing the public's gonna be all over this over. And from a money line perspective, 45% of the tickets are on the Rockies and 53% of the cash. Can you give us some clarity on this spot, Ragoo, Rockies Nationals?
I think your breakdown is spot on with with the pitching duel that we have here. I don't want any part of the Rockies on the road. Number one, correct. I mean, we know we hit lefties. We know they smash runs in cores, but I mean, you still got to hit the ball. I don't care if this game was in Colorado, it'd probably be 11.5, 12 runs. You know what I mean? But being it's in Washington, 8.5, it's still a decent number. We're starting to see more and more numbers. I think the numbers are a little short in a lot of these games too. We see a lot of 7.5s. Not talking about just today, just in general. We said at one point during the season that the run, overs are going to start catching up with these shorter numbers, and everybody's going to start kind of when the bats started heating up and the weather started heating up. We're going to get some weather. So now 25% of the season is basically over. We got 40 games in the books. We're getting into warmer weather, and when you get these type of matchups, where these pitchers are god ugly, with their whips and the ERA and the FIP numbers and all that stuff. And you got decent hitters on the left-hand side of the plate, for these matchups on one team. I would want to probably lean more towards a Rockies team total look versus than trying to, because you get these spots, even though Fetty's numbers are not spectacular, and Corbin's numbers are trash. You want to bet. For me, I want to take the better bat scenario in this matchup. I think both teams can score runs. I just don't want to get short at the one. Get short on the total when I'm looking at betting a game where I know there's going to be runs, but one of the teams doesn't show up to hit. To get to that mark. But I'm going to take the team I feel more confident that's going to hit the ball. And in this case, I think the Rockies are the ones who are going to get the runs in this particular spot. So I'm going to lean. I'm not going to get to the window with it right now, but I'm going to lean towards the Rockies team total over. I'm going to say, what is it, 4.5 possibly?
Yeah.
If it's 4, I would take it. If it's 4.5, I have to think about it.
Let's see what Pinnacle is doing with the team total for the Rockies. They have the team total at 3.5, but it's at minus 140.
140.
Yeah. So
yeah. My book is crooked. They got 4.5 at plus a high number, so. That's where they hang on that carrot right out in front of me. You know what I mean? So I have to line shop that one for sure. But my lean would be the Rockies team total over.
Wow. Yeah. And the Rockies team total at 3.5 minus 145 over here at Bet365. And the 4.5 at plus 115.
Yeah. So there's no 4s available?
I could build a 4, but it wouldn't be at a plus line.
Yeah.
Let's see if there are any other books here. Let's see what Circa is doing, and maybe somebody else in the chat has a book that can help here. Over here, the first Rockies team total. They have it at 4 at plus 108.
You know what? Let's take a swing at that one.
Wow. So that's a much better number than I would get if I built it myself. Circus.
Yeah, I know we talked about building numbers to kind of, hammer the books out, but once in a while you get lucky on something like that, I guess.
Rockies team total over 4. Over 4 at plus 108. That's available right now at Circa. Rockies team total over 4 at +108. Max Wally says, what are the numbers against Marquez? I will pull them up for you right now. But keep in mind that this is a different Marquez. Just clearly, I mean, with Pete saying he'll be on the DL by June 15th, I mean, the numbers against Marquez are massive with some of them. Alcides Escobar hitting .455 in 11 at-bats. Not everybody, though. Josh Bell's hitting .095. Nelson Cruz 0 for 6. So those are the most, those are very important bats. Juan Soto's hitting .364 in 11 at-bats with 2 homers and 4 ribbies. Lane, Strange Gordon both hitting .333 and 6 at-bats. Ruiz hitting 4 for 5 against them and 4 RBIs. So they get to him. Corbin, the numbers aren't actually, no, they smashed Corbin. This is such a strange game. I'm just going to stay away from it. And man, I'm going to stay away. I'm going to stay away. But I get the Rockies team total overlook that Ragoo's on. Team total over 4 at +108. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 18-22, 10-14 on the road to the Detroit Tigers, 15-28, 9-13 at home. We're at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. I'm working on a trip down to Detroit right now with the fam. I hope we're working on it. The problem is we're moving into that house in mid-July, so it's a problem, but I want to get down to Comerica badly. Let's start with the weather in Detroit. 69 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 8.5 miles per hour in. It dies down to 4.7. So 69 Fahrenheit, 8.5, dying down to 4.7 in. We'll take a look at the line history in the Tigers game. And I was staring at this game for so long. 5-cent move to the Guardians. Opened up at +125, now at +120. And from a total perspective, opened up at 7.5, and at 10 a.m., so 2 hours ago, it moved to 7. So you'd have to think there's slight money on Cleveland and money on the under. We'll see if that is the case here. Just 3,694 tickets in, and it's a coin flip, really, of 51% of tickets on Cleveland, 46% of the cash, and then 64% of the tickets, 94% of cash on the under, which means there's a lot of belief in Connor Pilkington. He, 24-year-old third-round pick by the White Sox in 2018 out of Mississippi State. His last start, 3 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks, and a 4-3 win at home versus Toronto. He has good numbers in a small sample size, 8 2/3. But if you look at what he did in AAA this year, in another small sample size, I believe 14 2/3, he got completely lit up. So it's interesting, and it seems to often happen where these lefties are much harder for hitters to figure out compared to righties. We saw that was a pucky last night. Tariq Skubal, whom I love dearly. 3-2, 2.22 ERA, 1.05 whip, 44 2/3, 50 Ks, 8 walks, 2 home runs allowed in 44 2/3. He's an ace. 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 5 Ks, no walks, and 6-1 loss at these very Guardians. And the Guardians destroyed them last year. Guardians are hitting 210, 604 OPS versus lefties. Tigers 247, 645 OPS versus lefties. That number is going up. And both bullpens have been so good. Guardians bullpen 3.32 ERA, 1.07 whip, converted 8 of 11. Tigers bullpen lights out 2.87 ERA, 1.08 whip, have converted 10 of 14. Lance Rose says value with Cleveland. Eric Jones on Cleveland money line +120. Take it away here, Ragoo. Guardians Tigers.
When I see somebody come up from AAA or coming off an IL or DL, like towards the middle part of the season, that's usually like a fade spot for me. Early on, it's not so much because, the hitters haven't caught up, but now I think they're starting to catch up a little bit here. Even though it's, like I say, we're still kind of early in the season, quarter away. But, I've heard good things about this kid coming up. And then we know Skubal's been very nice. He's done excellent job. Both bullpens are halfway decent. And I think there is a little bit of value on the Cleveland side. But the Tigers bats early on, they were struggling immensely. And they're starting to hit lefties. Like you said, their numbers are improving. So it's a game that I kind of, sat off on because of the fact that, there's not a lot of history with this kid. And I don't want to be wrong guessing in a spot like this, especially if I'm going to, back him in the spot, even though I think Probably Cleveland presents a little bit of value here, but I can't back it because of the fact that I don't have any history with the pitcher coming in. So you don't know, even though, like you said, they're tougher to pick up lefties versus the righties. There's too much unknown in this particular spot, and I definitely don't want to lay the 135 with the Tigers here. So I'm not going to guess with the rookie, even though maybe under might be a good lean. Early on, maybe a first 5 under, but other than that, I'm not going to be involved in this game.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be involved in this one either. I want to back Scooball badly, but seeing this Guardians team again that had his number last year, if I had a free play, I would, but I'm not going to take the Tigers at minus 140 either, so I'd have to take them, minus a half. And
I think this was a spot for Savali, wasn't it? And then they kind of sent him. What happened with Savali?
That's a good question. I don't know what happened with Savali. Maybe we'll get Jose on that.
I know he got shelved, but I don't know what happened.
We'll get Jose on that there, but no move for either of us, sadly. Okay, we move on at 7:20 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Phillies 20-24 at 9-11 on the road at the Atlanta Braves.
Injured list. Left sore butt cheek.
Oh no, not the ass cheek. Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia here. Let's take a look at the weather. 71 Fahrenheit, 11.2 miles per hour in, and dies down to 8.5 miles per hour. So we have that there. Then, it's funny talking back and forth about the name change to the Guardians. What it comes down to me, and maybe this is like just being, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But for me, sports is supposed to be that very fun place that takes us away from all the bullshit outside. And if anybody gets upset over a name, then change it. Because we want sports to just be only fun and only bringing people together. And that's it. Nothing else. Other than the competitive nature that you get if you're playing them and all that. And you can not like somebody and want to put your shoulder through somebody's chest. But, it's more, sports has to be this safe, I guess we don't need to talk about this stuff. But if it bothered people, then that's not what sports is about. Sports is about bringing people together. So let's do whatever we can to make sure that's the case. But I shouldn't even be bothering talking about these things. All right, Philadelphia Phillies 20-24, 9-11 on the road at the Braves, 21-23, 12-12 at home, Truist Park, Atlanta, Georgia. We'll start with the NOLA right setup. We'll see with the market movement. The Braves open up at minus 120. There's been two different 5-cent moves towards the Phillies. So the Phillies have gone from plus 100 down to minus 110. Rain is said by, I have no rain in this one. So I don't know what, Ron Crawford, which game you're talking about with rain. Maybe it's the last one. But let's go to Aaron Nola here. And the total opened up at 8.5, and it lasted there till 1 this morning, and then it dropped to 8. So that's what we're dealing with. When we look over, oh shoot, sorry, what the hell just happened to my computer? When we go over to the cash flow in this spot quickly here with the Braves, we have 5,800 tickets in. 43% of the tickets, 72% of the cash is on the Philadelphia Phillies. Then 41% of the tickets and 56% of the cash is on the under. Nola coming off a 7-4 loss at home versus the Dodgers. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 9 Ks, and 1 walk. I keep getting confused as to whether Aaron Nola is this ace that we back. I don't know. He's allowed 9 home runs and 52 1/3. He still has that 64 K to 10 walk ratio. Still has 0.99 whip, but he's 1-4. I mean, I don't know. And then with Kyle Wright, he looked like the most dominant pitcher in the league off the top of the season. And now he seems to be coming back a little bit. But in saying that was a great start at Miami. 5 innings, 2 hits, 6 Ks, 3 walks, and a 4.3 win. 2.49 ERA, 1.09 whip. Phillies 250, 713 OPS versus righties. Braves just 232, 689. Phillies bullpen's been bad as the Braves bullpen keeps getting better as the season goes on. I know they scuffed a couple games recently, but still 3.28 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. Take it away here, Ragoo. Phillies Braves.
So Nola hasn't won since his first outing, correct? And then he had a couple 2-run efforts, and then I think a couple 4 runs after that, or his last 4. So not terribly bad, but not great either. Right, like you said, seems like he's got pretty decent stuff. I just think that the with Wright, the Phillies haven't seen him a whole lot. Like I think they've seen him like one time in his career, and it's a very short sample size on some of the batters. I think the Braves have kind of tweaked the lineup a little bit this go around. A couple guys that haven't had success against them, they pulled. So I think in this spot that the Braves are probably going to be they're probably going to play a little bit of small ball here. I think that's just my feeling. I think when they come back out with what's his name, Nola, I think Nola's just going to try to get something going early on, maybe get 5-6 innings out of him possibly if they're lucky. And I think it's going to be more of a pitcher's matchup in this particular spot. So I think the Braves are tweaking their lineup a little bit. They're spotty against limited looks against Wright here. So I would look for like a lower score game. I agree with this total in this game. Now, didn't the total move up on this particular game from like 7.5 to 8? Or did it open at 8?
Did the opposite open at 8? Well, I bet 365 it opened at 8.5.
8.5, so it's down. Okay.
Down to 8.
I've seen 7.5, so I've seen 8, I've seen 8.5. So I know it's settled at 8 right now. But anyways, I would think like a first 5 under look would be good in this spot here. I think Wright, with the limited exposure that Wright's had, and then Nola's, like you said, you question if he's an ace. Evidently, he's not showing it of late, but like I say, 2-run efforts, a couple 2-run efforts, out of the last 4 games he threw. I think, this is a game that he can probably get back in his groove and get ready for tomorrow's, when it'll be a travel day tomorrow, tonight after tonight's game, they travel back home. So I think I like the first under look in this spot here.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. So I don't know why it makes me nervous that Swish Analytics has 0% precipitation. They have rain leading up into the game. They have 70%, 60%, and then at 7 p.m., no rain. I'm going to refresh it because that doesn't make sense, because when I went to the actual weather report, there's rain in this game. And if there's rain in this game, then I can't trust that Nola and Wright will, be on the mound or get pulled at some point. There's thunderstorms. Let me go back to this weather here. So this is the actual weather report. Has a thunderstorm and 94% precipitation at 6. At 9, 82% precipitation and rain. So I don't know. That makes me too nervous to want to. If there wasn't rain, I think I'd be with you on this. But because of the rain, I'm not going to. Did you want to make anything official here?
They're showing like 60% is what I get. But anyways, no. It's going to be a lean only for me on this one. Lean first 5 under.
If this wasn't a weather issue, I'd be right there with you. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Kansas City Royals 14-28, 6-13 on the road at the Minnesota Twins 27-17, 15-9 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Reginald Luger says yes, it's raining all day, on and off. Let's go over to Target though and see what the weather report is there. 57 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Cool in Minnesota. 7.5 miles per hour right to left, slightly in. It dies down to 2.9 by the end of the game, but becomes a little bit more in. Then we'll go to the line history in this spot in Minnesota. We have these 2 pitchers that just faced each other last week, 2 lefties, 2 young lefties. There's been a 10-cent move to the Royals since the opening line. And from a total perspective, it opened up at 7.5 and moved to 8. Go over to the cash flow. And here is our first game with full line value on the Kansas City Royals. And with these 2 pitchers, now I lost money 5 days ago in this spot, but I think that Lynch, as a higher rated prospect, would have more in this bag of tricks. He got destroyed in the first inning. And what it ended up I think he allowed 4 in the first, and then he held for 3 in 2/3, and he just only those 4 earned runs against them. So he kind of got his shit together. Smeltzer looked great. He went 5 in the third, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 0 Ks in that 6-4 win. The Royals don't hit lefties, 238, 658 OPS, and the Twins are hitting lefties hard at 256, 743 OPS. The Twins bullpen, so much better than the Royals bullpen. This Twins bullpen, 3.58 ERA, 1.23 whip, converted 12 of 17. Royals bullpen, 4.86 ERA, 1.46 whip, converted 8 of 15. And we have 20% of the tickets on the Royals and 32% of the cash. And it's moved 10 cents towards them. Then 54% of tickets, 51% cash on the over, and it's gone towards the over. Craig Wood says, fade that bullpen. Dommy Gunn says, I've been backing Tariq every game. I get that. So take it away here for us, Ragoo. Royals, Twins.
Yeah, there's only one look for me on this game. I mean, the Royals, they were off yesterday. They needed a day off because I think they lost 6 or 7 in a row. Let me see what. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're on a little skid right here, and they have the worst ERA starting pitcher and bullpen in the league. It's got to be Twins or Pat. I mean, I'm looking at the total. I'm like, you're looking at what, 7.5. I don't see how that happens. You know, I would lean definitely to the over here too, also. But I was looking more towards a team total with the Twinkies actually, because I don't want to lay that big number like 170. So this is probably going to be a play on spot for me, just because of the skid that the Royals are hitting and their struggles with the bullpen and the starting rotation. And I don't know where the value comes in, but I don't have the analytics that these guys have. I just got my little pea brain that I work with. But I'm going to say I'm going to go right here. We're going to 4.5. See, that's a sketchy number, but maybe like a first 5. Let's see what we got here. You know what? Put me on the Twins first 5 -0.5 -120.
All right, I will do that. Let me see if I can beat that number here quickly over at Pinnacle. The Twins first 5 -0.5 -114 over at Pinnacle. Okay, Ragoo is on the Twins first 5 -0.5.
I mean, Smeltzer, he's gotten tagged up by Benedetti, Lopez, Blanco. So there are some guys in the lineup that have got to him, and more recently than late, but still very short sample size. I trust their side of the mound versus the other, and I think the bats are more than capable to get to this guy. So I'm going to roll the dice with that -120
or -114, which is what we get you for record keeping purposes. All right, Ragoo is in. Twins first 5 -0.5. Well, I'm not going to go up against it or against you, but I'm high on Daniel Lynch, and it cost me money just 5 days ago. So I guess I'll just stay off. Let's move on to 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers 28-16, 14 on the road. St. Louis Cardinals 24-19, 11-9 at home. My God, was that Brewers bullpen awesome yesterday without Hader and no problem. They would just look one after another of just elite bullpen. 3.41 ERA, 1.26 whip, converted 20 of 26 saves. But watching that bullpen work, I was like, oh man, those numbers are going to drop fast. Eric Lauer versus Adam Wainwright. So Eric Lauer was available a year and a half ago in the winter, for anything, for a bag of balls. Brewers got him for nothing, and he's been incredibly good for now coming into a second year, coming off a 7-0 win at home versus the Nats. He went 7 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks, 2.16 ERA, 0.94 whip, 54 Ks, and 41 2/3. And I like backing him, and I took him on the -1.5 line last 5 days ago. But these cards hit 290 with an 862 OPS versus lefties. So if that's the case, let's look right away at the batter versus pitcher stats and see if they get to him. And they don't get to him. Arenado is 3 for 12. Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader is a 2 for 8. Corey Dickerson 1 for 7. Paul Goldschmidt 0 for 7. Tommy Edman 0 for 4. He just get these guys out. And Domi's saying this game probably doesn't go tonight. So let's just go to the weather before we spend too much time on it. Maybe it's just another spot where I've got, let me see what RotoWire says about it. Oh, no, this game, 35% rain, but this game is expected to go here from what I see. 6.2 miles per hour out to right center, and it dies down to 1.5. So very little wind here. Very little wind here. Wainwright, last out at the Pirates, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 3 Ks, and 3 walks. He's a 2.87 ERA and a 1.19 whip, and we know what he does at home. And the Brewers' numbers, 241, 737 OPS versus righties, have improved quite a bit. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot. We have 7,717 tickets in, 35% of the tickets, 45% of the cash on Milwaukee, 52% of tickets, and 72% cash on that over. And that over, let's just take a quick look at the line history. That over has gone from no move, 5-cent move to the under, and no move since the opening line. It's sitting exactly where it was with the Cardinals at minus 120. Take it away here, Ragoo. Brewers, Cardinals.
Yeah, you got the top two in the Central here, guys. These teams, they feast, beating up on the other teams in their division. Their run differentials is pretty close, like plus 35 for the Brewers, which we know started real slow, putting runs up, in St. Louis plus 42. So, and then Lauer, like you said, you know, he's been excellent. You know, he could be right there with Burns. You know, he's got some quality starts, but he has struggled a little bit against St. Louis over the years, slightly. Wainwright, the old man, 20-13 lifetime versus the Brewers, 2.69 ERA and 50 appearances against Milwaukee, 43 starts. So he's 2-1 with the 3.62 ERA and the 5 starts of more recent. But this is a team that I always have bad luck with, the Cardinals. I do lean the Cardinals here. I won't get to the window with them, but I do lean the Cardinals here. I think they present a little bit of value here just because of the fact that, you know, they have had success, and Lauer has had he's 1-1 with a 7.09 ERA versus these same Cardinals here. But I think Wainwright, he's on the final farewell tour. He wants to pitch a lot of innings. He said, I watched his interview the other day. He said he wants to go deep in games. He's going to argue with when every time somebody comes out to try to pull him out of a game, he says he's not coming out. So he's a man that's focused. I like the look here with St. Louis, but I will not get to the window of them. They won't get a penny of my money the rest of the year or the rest of my life for that matter. So you get a lean out of me, it'll be lean St. Louis in this spot. I just think I like the matchup for Wainwright, and I know Lauer is definitely a quality pitcher. Maybe an under, maybe a first 5 under possibly, but you know this has like a 4-3 feel to it. Maybe a good full game under too, possibly. If Wainwright goes deep, you know, maybe under 7.5 is a good look too. So I lean Cards and I lean under full game.
Yeah, and these guys have some pretty good numbers against Wainwright, but Wainwright's been so tough at home. Yelich hitting 250, Wong hitting 308, Urias 4 for 8, Rocky Rowdy Tellez 286. I mean, Tyrone Taylor's 2 for 5 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. Yeah. Eric Jones on the under as well. I'm not going to move on that under. All right, let's move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. This was a double up spot for me. Boston Red Sox 20-23, 10-13 on the road at the Chicago White Sox. And even though this wasn't a say hey play of the day, I would like Jose to jump back on the show here because I've moved twice on this game and I'm not running nice, and I'd like to hear what you think of it. There's Poker Addicted in the house. Great to see you, Piker. All right, Red Sox, White Sox. Let's discuss it. First, we're going to talk first pitch weather, 76 Fahrenheit, 6.9 miles per hour. And the wind's all over the place direction-wise, but pretty light, and ends up at 2.7 miles per hour. Then we'll go over to the line history in this one. Wacha Keuchel, a 5-cent move to the Red Sox, and from a total perspective, a 15-cent move to the over, but it stayed at 9. It was 9 minus 105. It opened at. It's now 9 at minus 120. I moved on 2 different spots here. I took Boston Red Sox first 5, and I took the first 5 over 4.5 at minus 120. When I woke up this morning, it was at 5, which made me feel good. Let's see what it is right now. Yes, it's at 5, and it's minus 115 to the over. So I got the 4.5 at minus 120 here. Wacha versus Keuchel. Wacha's been so good this year, and we're all sort of expecting regression to the mean. I wonder if you are as well at this point, Jose. 3-0, 1.76 ERA, 1.01 WHIP. His last start, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 3 walks, and 7-3 win at home versus the Mariners. Keuchel, I just don't trust at all. He had that great start out of nowhere against the Yankees, then he got destroyed by the Yankees in the next start. I know the Red Sox are only hitting 241, 657 OPS versus lefties, but I just expect them to get the Keuchel enough to get me that first 5. I'm on the Red Sox first 5 minus 110, and I think that with the negative regression from Wacha and Keuchel going to get touched, I should be able to get to the over 4.5. Red Sox bullpen starting to pitch a little better, 3.71 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, but 8 of 19 converted saves. White Sox bullpen, 4.20 ERA, 1.37 WHIP, 18 of 27 converted saves. Let's hear from one hole Bouquet with your Red Sox in play here. Did you move on this game?
Yeah, I'm on the Red Sox money line. Spreadsheets on the Red Sox money line too. Fun fact. Shout out to Ron Crawford. So I do believe the shit we've seen from Wacha is legitimate. He was a hot commodity this offseason. All the smart teams were after Wacha, the Dodgers and teams like that. They see him, and he's obviously was on the Rays once before too. So I do believe in that, but it is definitely a case where you cut his season. Like you will start the first cut right here, because from last start up back, basically before his injury. So now we're going pre-injury and post-injury with Wacha. We'll see how it goes there. He only gave up 2 runs against the Seattle Mariners. I thought it was a good start. So I believe in them today. I was on the first 5 under a while back when Keuchel faced the Red Sox earlier this season. That was when the Red Sox were in full-on slump mode and depression mode. I think they get to him here. Obviously, the Red Sox this month, 108 weighted runs created plus. That's 12th. And the White Sox are starting to hit righties a little bit too. They're average now, 99, 19th in the league right now. So I took the Red Sox here. I'm feeling them pretty confidently. I took them last night. They lose. They took the team total over 3.5. They only scratch across 1 run on Lucas Giolito. After they score 1 in the first, I was like, wow, okay, well, we're on our way again. Here we go. But they lock it down here. I think the winning the series aspect of it is also important as well. But I've been on the wrong side of both games so far in this series. And I'm hoping that I'm on the right side this time.
Interesting. We're not. Do you want us to make that official, or do you want to stick with your one?
No, we'll make it official. I got it at minus 112. Like I said, I tweeted it out so we can make it official at that line. But it's on there. I'm betting it. I'll be talking about it today on Say Hey Plays. And yeah, I think it'll be a fun game to watch for sure for me. I think Keuchel gets touched in a story. And my last thing, as I'm rambling here, it would be I hear Nut Flush Allen and Cab in my head talking about team totals all the time, and I perhaps would lean. I think you got a 4 correct on your first 5, Jimmy.
With the first 5 with both teams, I got a 4.5.
Yeah, see, I think I would rather have a Red Sox team total. Maybe that's just me being biased, and you just have to eliminate the White Sox offense of it entirely. I think it'll probably be a 4.5 full game for them too. But Billy Friedrich also giving some good stats here. White Sox versus Wacha career 26 and 91, 286 average, 17 Ks, 3 home runs allowed. So,
Okay, well, we have Say Hey. Stick around here. Let's hear the Big Ragoo's breakdown. Boston Red Sox, Chicago White Sox. What are you doing here, Ragoo, if anything?
My first thought of play was the Red Sox team total, but it's that tricky 4.5. But I agree with Jose. I think Keuchel will get hit up. Now this is a spot, like I said earlier on. When somebody's coming back from a little bit of an injury, I just kind of wait and see type of thing. But Walker's been so good. He's been a money pitcher. 1.76 ERA, 3-0. It's hard to argue with him. Boston bats have woken up. So that was this is like one of the first plays I seen on my sheet. Out of all the sheets, these like 2 plays I had marked down. This was one of them, the Red Sox. But I'm not going to take pause. I'll take a little bit of pause on the team total at the -110 to 4.5. But I think the value is on the full game, because I think if you look at the first 5, I think Boston's a little bit of a heavy favorite. They are compared to full game. And I think the White Sox bullpen is pretty decent, but hopefully the game will be out of reach by then. So I'm going to be on the Sox full game today.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not going to mess with the team total. I just feel more confident in the Red Sox bats and getting to Keuchel. Well, how many runs? Whether it's 3 or 5 or 8, whatever. I don't want to gamble there. I think Boston is going to be the better side today.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. By the way, if Liam Hendricks wasn't available for this game, he went an inning and a third last night.
Yeah.
So
see, I didn't look at the bull. One thing I didn't do today is that I usually have my bullpen sheet, but I don't have it. So
yeah, and I'm just speculating too.
I don't know.
So
yeah, that's good news. Then I'll feel even more comfortable with that. Then.
Well, let's get you that full game on the Red Sox right now. -108 available at Pinnacle. Quickly see if Circa can beat that. Billy, let me know if Bookmaker. I keep saying I'm gonna have Bookmaker up and I don't, but let's just see what if that's -104 at Circa.
Yeah, Circa's always got decent lines.
All right, let's get it
Seems
for.
like that's been a good book for me.
Ragoo is on the Red Sox -104. All right, I like it. So I think that I'll add Red Sox full game in as well, because this all correlates with what I wanted. I'm on Red Sox first 5 -110. Boston, Chicago first 5 over 4.5 -120, and that was bet last night. Ragoo's on Red Sox -104. Spreadsheet play of the days also on Boston, and the Say Hey play of the days also on the Boston Red Sox. All right, I love it. Thank you for jumping on, Jose, my man. All right, we have 3 games left, and then we're going to get into NBA. So we have 20 minutes allotted for these 3 games. So at 5 minutes to 1, we'll be looking to get into NBA. Let's move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Toronto Blue Jays. This game is going to be a hugely watched game. I can imagine Asia losing their minds over this matchup. Toronto Blue Jays 23-20, 9-12 on the road at the Los Angeles Angels, 27-18, 15-9 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, and we have Hyunjin Ryu of South Korea going up against Shohei Ohtani of Japan. And there's a lot of concern about Ryu at the start of the year, but they put him on the DL, and he came out, and Kyle Hintley making a big boy bet on the Red Sox, Billy Friedrich on them as well. Ryu looked much better since he's come back off the DL. We need him badly, so it was a big deal. It was against the Reds, who don't hit lefties, and they're playing now the Angels, who don't have a ton of power against lefties, but 252, 722 OPS. Ryu went 6 innings, 6 hits, no one runs, 3 Ks, no walks, and 2-1 win. Ohtani, there's times when he looks so dominant, and then there's times when he gets tagged up, but I think I just have a vividness bias of him getting tagged up because his numbers are still very good. It's sort of a Corbin Burns thing I got going on with him, because Ohtani's numbers are still great. 3-2, 2.82 ERA, 1.02 WHIP, 53 Ks and 38 in the third, just 3 home runs allowed and 38 in the third. And Matt Jannings says the sake is flowing early in anticipation for this matchup. Man, that makes me want some immediately. I'm off the sauce now on weekdays, Sunday through Thursday, so I felt a little bit of a palm sweat over boozing there. Ohtani, and look at Matt Janning in the house. I love when Matt Janning comes in, a professional basketball player rolling with us, who's over playing professionally in Japan. So cool. Jays first righties is 233, 685 OPS. Jays bullpen 4 ERA, 1.22 whip have converted 17 of 26 save opportunities. The Angels bullpen 3.86 ERA, 1.12 whip have converted 14 of 20 save opportunities. Christian Larson says, I think Danny Jansen makes Ryu a better pitcher. Look, if Kirk is going to be the bottom 5 in the entire league with runners in scoring position, then let's have Danny Jansen play as much as possible, because the whole idea about Kirk being in the lineup was, oh, we got his bat in the lineup. Well, he's not hitting it with runners in scoring position. If we can get Lourdes Gurriel and Teoscar Hernandez starting to hit, then watch out, but they're not hitting. All right, let's start with the weather and then look at the line history and then hand it over to the Big Ragoo. 67 Fahrenheit, the first pitch, 8 miles per hour out. So still cooler out west. Then we have the line history in this spot here. Let me just move it over. Here we have the Angels opening up at minus 140, 30-cent move towards them by 8:30 in the morning. It's come back 5 cents. So it's 25-cent move from the opening. From a total perspective, there's been a 5-cent move to the under. The initial move was to the over, but now there's been a 5-cent move to the under. And let's look at the cash. I don't want to make a bet just because I want to watch this game, because I do want to watch this game. 7,800. Of course, the Mavericks Warriors game is going to be on. So how much am I going to really? I don't know. Digress. 7,893 tickets in. 60% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on Ohtani and the Angels. 25% of the tickets, 35% of the cash on the under, and yet there's been a 5-cent move to the under. I can't wait to hear your breakdown here. Big game, big game. A Canadian team versus an American team with a Japanese pitcher against a South Korean pitcher. Take it away, Ragoo, Jays, Angels.
Big international flavor in this game, right, my man? All over the place. We got it all covered. We'll be serving sushi and sake as around 9:30 Eastern time, whatever time that is.
Oh, it's
all right,
perfect
so
time.
Automatically, there's going to be fanfare for Ohtani just because he's spectacular in the role he plays with the Angels. But I'm going to say, he's been very good, but he can be vulnerable, as we've seen, with a 3-2 record. And we know that the Jays have kind of hit a little bit of a lull, so to speak. But they're still the Jays. They still have a lot of talent. That lineup is dangerous, one of the most dangerous lineups in MLB. And Montoya was saying, Ryu is looking really good. His pitches are sharp. He looks like his stuff is good. And where does the place he's going to be able to shine? In front of his, people watching all around the world. I've had, great joy watching Ryu pitch over the years, when he pitched down in South Florida too. So I love it. I love the Jays in this spot, man. This is my play of the day. I never give out a play of the day, but this is my play of the day. Is going to be taking the Jays on the money line, because I think this is a game. It's not going to be the pivotal game of the season for them, obviously, but it's going to be a game where they kind of, move the runners around a little bit, make some good contact. All these guys in the lineup could hit fastballs. They could hit, sliders, that kind of stuff. I'm not worried about the Jays bats here. I think this is a game where they rise to the occasion and they move the runners over and they get to put the ball in, play against Ohtani, because he's got good stuff, but I think he's very hittable, and I think the Jays are the team to come after this guy and get it done. So, and Trout has had some issues with Ryu in the past too. So, Ohtani's never faced before, but I think we're in a good spot with the Jays here. It's a good price. You're getting plus, like you said, the market move. I'm going against the market, whatever that is, whether it's Joes and pros or both or one or the other. I just like the Jays here. I think it presents decent value for that lineup, and Ryu coming back, having his stuff. Give me the plus money on the Jays here. I think it's a good spot.
I love it. I also, looking at that first 5 total sitting at 4, it's a pretty nice number. And then you can get the Jays first 5 plus a half. I still am very concerned with the bullpen with the Jays. It's just been awful, and I just don't trust them. But I think you're right with that there's value here, and I expect Ryu to pitch well.
Strictly.
I like it. So plus 144 over at Pinnacle, a plus 148 over at Circa. Let's give you the plus 148. And again, Trout 0 for 10 against Ryu.
Yeah.
I love this look. Ragoo is on the plus
Let me
one.
see
No,
something
Jays
else here while we're looking.
plus 1.
And you know what? Hey, give me this too. Give me this is a steal. Give me the Jays over 3.5 runs minus whatever you get. I got 105 on my shop here, but that's put me down for that too. That'd be
Ron
kind of like
Crawford.
a hedge. If
Ron
things go
Crawford
south.
saying over. I can get you that Jays team total over 3.5 at plus 106.
Yeah, sign me up for that.
Huh.
Ohtani's not. He's a god, but he ain't. He's not that type of a god. If you know what I'm saying.
Wow. Huh. And very, very interesting. Matt Channing liking the over 7.5. TJ saying Jays 3 runs or less in 8 of 10. It does look like we've turned the corner a little bit because look, we have, if it was mentioned here in the chat, we talked about they were hitting 179 with runners in scoring position. It would be the lowest batting average in MLB history with runners in scoring position. Kyle Hintley and there's a bunch of spots. I'm only on that first. I'm only on the under 5 at plus 121. Wow, this is exciting. Okay. TJ saying Ohtani top 10 in the league in hard contact and exit velocity against a Jays team that relies on home runs. Thinks it says it's an under. Huh.
Yeah, when you throw like Ohtani, you're gonna get some exit coming back the other way.
No problem, Kyle. And I'll hook you up here in a second with everything. I am leaning on moving on this spot. I'm leaning on moving on the Jays first 5 plus a half and the first 5 under 4. But I'm going to put question marks on the under 4 at this point. And like the Jays first 5 plus a half, if it's going to be a low scoring game. I mean, we have a lot of you guys saying there's going to be offense and volatility. Okay, that was wonderful. I love the breakdown. Ragoo made official the Jays at plus 148 and the team total over 3.5 at plus 106. And there's Tease in the house. Great to see you, Tease, our guy. Okay, we have 2 games left, and then we move on to NBA. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, LA Dodgers at Arizona Diamondbacks. Dodgers 29-14, 14-9 on the road at the Diamondbacks 23-22, 12-11 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Let me just get this. I should have done this already, but sorry. Let me get the Diamondback roof status here and tell you that they are probably closed. Yes, it is closed. But keep in mind that it's open tomorrow. So remember that for your capping. Closed Saturday and Sunday. I guess they are going to do fireworks or some shit on Friday night, but keep in mind, tomorrow night, roof is open. It's the only time it's open. It is closed this evening. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot with the bullpen day for the Dodgers going up against Humberto Castellanos. We have plus 155. The Diamondbacks open that. That's where they stand right now. So it's up and down, but that's where they stand. This total, though, has gone from 9 to 9.5. One move. It happened at 9:16 a.m. this morning. Let's see where the cash lies in this spot. Oh, I don't even know if I took a look at the. Oh, no, I did. I did talk about where the cash lied in that Jays Angels game. Here we go with the cash in this one. This is the second game on the board where Sports Insights is saying full line value on the D-backs. 8,082 tickets in, and again, we're not tracking it. So I wish I had more time. 68% of the tickets are on the Dodgers, but just 50% of the cash. Then 56% of the tickets and 58% of cash on the under, and yet it's gone up a half run. Real Deal Prime says Mitch White is a fade. Arizona might have a shot here. Well, Mitch White's not going to go far. This is a bullpen day. So maybe then you're saying Arizona score first, but that means Humberto Castellanos has got to get through that first inning. Castellanos 3-1, 4.29 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. His last start, he went 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and a 10-6 win at the Cubs. Dodgers 249, 771 OPS versus righties. Again, I don't want to talk about what happened yesterday. That's been a move that I've done for the last year and a half, and until it worked great last year. It's not seeming to be working so much this year, but we all know what happened yesterday. Diamondbacks versus righties 227.07 OPS. Dodgers bullpen 3.08 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, converted 11 to 15. Diamondbacks bullpen still struggling, 4.42 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, have converted 15 to 21. Take it away here, Ragoo. Dodgers, Diamondbacks.
Yes, we won't talk about yesterday, but I'll mention one thing. That's how you screw up. Well, not screw up, but that's an exit game scenario. You know, with Roberts sitting down bets. You know, so what do you think is going to happen in a game like that? You know, they want to get back out of town, go play these guys, get back on the West Coast. But today, a little different story, I guess. I kind of had a feeling they would close the roof tonight too. You know, they don't want them balls flying out of the park, I guess, with the Dodgers lineup. But that was my initial look, was to kind of get back, let the Dodgers get on track a little bit. You know, always these division games are going to be tough no matter what the records are. You know, there's never an easy division game, that's for sure. But I kind of agree with the chat if they're talking about, you know, the Dodgers youngster, you know, maybe, you know, like you said, a bullpen scenario here. Castellanos, you know, last time out, he had success against these guys, you know, with the lineup. You know, he kind of minimized his damage, so to speak. He had a couple, 2 or 3 guys in there that are hitting decent. And the other guys are got a bunch of goose eggs. So this is the second time they're going to see him this season, I guess. And I expect the Dodgers bats to kind of wake up a little bit here, and not necessarily run line, but that was my first look, because I know Dodgers, like I said, I preached it in the past, you know, you lost money with them if you bet them every game last year. So you got to pick spots with them. And I think this is a good spot to kind of make money with the Dodgers as far as the team total goes. I know I've been talking a lot of overs today, but I think the Dodgers score 5 or 6 runs in this game with ease.
Well, let's see what we give you on a team total here. Coming off a game where they were completely shut down by Fetty, who seems to be – the Nationals must feel good because they've sure waited a long time for him to step up. 5.5 at Pinnacle at -102.
5.5.
Yeah.
What's the first 5 minus a half?
Oh, I will tell you right now. Dodgers first 5 minus a half is -125.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna PASS on this game.
Okay, but Billy Friedrich found a much better line at Bookmaker. He found the total at 5 at -113.
All right, let's do that.
Okay, thank you, Billy.
I don't 5.5. You're getting them taller, crooked numbers. It get a little tough to catch, but I think they'll score 6 runs. I really do. I think they'll score at least 5, maybe 7. That's what I got them pegged at for this game. And the D-backs, who knows what they're going to score with the youngster coming out for the Dodgers. I don't think he's that bad in reality. Let's see what he did last time. What do you got? White. The White, he's went up. You know, he did pretty good against their top hitters. You know, Walker, Varsho, Peralta, Rojas. You know, he just sat them all down. In a short sample size anyway. It's a bullpen day, like you say, so you gotta look first 5, and then maybe you get to Arizona's bullpen for some more runs.
All right, you are locked in. Dodgers team total over 5 at -113. Let's talk about the final game on the MLB card here, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Texas Rangers at Oakland Athletics. We're at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Look, Martin Perez has been unbelievable, coming off a complete game shutout at Houston, and Montas coming off a strange game where he got hit by Rengifo's line drive up the middle. He used his hand to shield his face, hit his hand, and he picked up the ball, threw the guy out, Rengifo out, but left the game. And X-rays were negative, and he's not missing a day. He's getting right back to a start. And he's been good this year. 3.55 ERA, 1.01 whip, 55 Ks and 15 2/3, just 13 walks. Has allowed 6 home runs in that span. And this total, you know, I looked at it this morning or last night at 7, and I get it. I was like, yeah, I get it. It's moved even further towards the under since then, and I was hesitant to move on it at 7 at a pick'em. There's been no movement on the side. The A's are -125. From a total perspective, it moved down to 6.5 at 9:15 a.m., back to 7, and then back down to 6.5 again. So the question is, first off, how many pitches did Martin Perez throw in that complete game? It doesn't seem to wear on him at all. He doesn't throw fast. But let's just take a look at how many pitches he threw in that complete game and compare that to his other starts here, if it's way out of norm. Where do I? Here we go. So he threw 108 pitches, which is not much. I mean, he threw 106 2 starts ago and 6 in the third. So 108 pitches to get to the complete game. So that's not a big deal. He hadn't broken 88 until he threw 106, then 96, and 108. So he's fine throwing it like that. Let's take a look at the weather in Oakland, and then we'll do the line history, and then we'll hear what Ragoo has to say. 64 Fahrenheit at opening pitch, 12 miles per hour to right, and it dies down to 7.8. And we know that the wind is kind of strange and swirling, so it's not that big of a deal. Then we'll go over to the line history, which we already discussed. So then we'll go over to the cash flow here. And 6,292 tickets in. 62% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Rangers, and the line's not moving. 42% of tickets, 56% of cash on the under. Take it away, Ragoo. You have a feel here. Rangers, A's, last game on the card.
Yeah, it's a weird look on this game. When you look at, like you said, all the cash coming one way, the tickets, and the line's not moving, and the line's trickling down. My first look, I know like last time when Montez pitched, first time through, not too bad. But once you get multiple looks at him, he seems like he's been getting hit on the Rangers side. And then that was my first look was on the Rangers in actuality in this game. Because, like I say, it didn't make sense. But like you said, all the tickets coming in and the line move that kind of put me off a little bit. And then, that numbers almost seems like it's pretty low hanging at 6.5, trying to figure out a way to maybe beat that number somehow. But then it's juiced pretty high. Like I got my guys or my book's got like 125 over 6.5 runs. So I don't know. Would it being like short like that? I was like looking at looking back through the lineup, like when Montez. Let me see. Let me look. Let's look back through the lineup, Jimmy, real quick and see what we got against Montez here. I got it printed out right here.
I got that here too.
You got it?
Yeah, you mean
I gotta look at the lineup on this. So Corey Seager's 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. Adolis Garcia's 2 for 4. Cole Calhoun hits him 389 and 18 at bats. Yeah,
and the rest of the guys don't. Simeon's 1 for 6 against them.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking some of the guys looking at the lineup though, if they come back through another time, they might pick up. They might pick up on something possibly, but I know Frankie's their guy out in Oakland. So I don't know. It's got a weird look to it. I probably won't play anything in this spot here just because I don't have a good read on it. I'm all over the place looking back and forth on the darn thing. But I do one thing that just sticks out is that damn low number though. 6. You think both of these guys are worthy of a 6.5? I
wasn't sure if they were worthy of a 7.
Yeah.
So that at 7, I was like, I don't know. And so the fact that it's at 6.5 makes me probably should move towards the over. TJ says I'm on the A's. They're getting comfortable and not as horrible as people think. Was on them 2 or 3 against Seattle for nice cashes. And the A's are actually hitting lefties okay. 229, 674 OPS. I mean, okay in comparison to how they hit righties, I guess. But they hit lefties better than the Rangers hit righties. 221, 622 OPS. And both bullpens are pitching really well, especially the A's bullpen.
That's why the number where it is. But 6.5, man, that's really low.
Very low.
I might say just on principle, but just you don't make bets on principle, but just there's got to be something to that, man. I just can't put my finger on it. But I would lean towards the over on that game, and even though maybe a first 5 over possibly.
Yeah, and that's got to be super low. Let's just see what that would be here at my book. The first 5, 3.5, over 3.5 at plus 100, and I bet I could get a better one. Joe Yurgovich says A's shouldn't be the favorite. Oh, and look, Piker, after cashing his first wrong hole play of the day on another one, Toronto, LA, under 4, first 5. This is what I was looking at. And plus 102 says Billy over at 3.5. Okay, let me just copy and paste Piker's wrong hole play today. All right, let's review action here. This was a fun card, and I enjoyed capping with you very much, Big Ragoo. And your average line will stay plus with your action here. Let's talk about it. We start at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Jose Seje play today is on the Tampa Bay Rays at plus 105, and Ragoo is on the Rays at plus 110. Both of them are on full game Rays action here. Wow. Then Ragoo's on the Rockies team total over 4 at plus 108. Cleveland, Detroit, we stayed off as we did with Philly, Atlanta. A lot of weather issues over there. Ragoo's on the Twins first 5 minus a half at minus 114. Brewers, Cards, we stayed off. Another say-hey play today is the Boston Red Sox minus 112. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is Boston. Red Sox first 5 minus 110 is my action, and Boston, Chicago White Sox first 5 over 4.5 minus 120. I bet both of those last night. Ragoo's on the Red Sox minus 104, and I think I'm going to come along for the Red Sox full game. I'm going to come along with Red Sox full game. Ragoo is on the Jays at plus 148, and the Jays team total over 3.5 at plus 106. I'm interested in the Jays first 5 plus a half. I have question marks beside the first 5 under 4, but Piker, wrong hole play the days on that first 5 under 4. Then Ragoo's on the Dodgers team total over 5 at minus 113. Nice looking card for you, Big Ragoo. You're sitting 16-16 on the year here, and just down 0.28 units. A winning day will have you healthy in the black, and I love capping with you. Follow our man Big Ragoo on Twitter at Big Ragoo 62. Ragoo, happy anniversary to you and Kelly. 38 year. You lead by example. You lead by example in every facet of your life, and it's just a joy to be your friend and to try to follow in your footsteps. Do you have any words for the capper supporting the show, my man?
Yeah, I noticed that Ron put something in the chat. Said something's off on Texas stats are better across the board as favored. So good looking out, Ron. But yeah, we love you guys, man. The chat's always fire. I appreciate the love and support you guys getting. Shout out to everybody at Pub Sports as usual. And let's keep building this thing and let's keep moving forward.
I love it. There he is, the Big Ragoo, coming to us from Ocala, Florida. We go from Ocala to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the finest full season record in my career from any guest that has ever appeared on my show. Dutch sitting 52 wins, 28 losses, 65%. 65%. Jesus. Plus 22.48 units. ROI plus 28.1%. Average line minus 105. Jesus! Those are incredible numbers. Please welcome to the show, Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Dutchy, what's up, man?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. Yo, salute to you, my guy. All the real ones holding it down in the chat. You already know it's all love, man. I appreciate the kind words. Congratulations to my man Doc. Bigs up to him and his wife Kelly. 38 years. That's a beautiful thing. Gives me hope, man. Gives me hope.
Yeah, it gives us all hope.
Yeah, man.
And also when you see them together, they enjoy each other's company. Which
yeah,
is,
very true.
There's a lot of couples that have been together for 38 years because their religion dictates it.
Right.
They're not allowed to get out. It's like a gang.
Yeah.
But Kelly and Doc, they enjoy each other's company and they lead by example. It's great. Dutch, I've missed you, man, and we've missed you putting cash in our pockets.
Yeah, my fault last week to you, especially Jimmy and everybody in the chat. I was on vacay mode and just really honestly, that Eastern time fucked with me a little bit. So, but yeah, my fault, my man. Won't happen again. Won't happen again.
It's all good. These things do happen. It's all good. I enjoy tracking your record very much. I enjoy it very, very much. If we go back now, I don't have the dates in because I only have a certain part with the description here, but you would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 for your last 22, 18 and 4. And that includes 2 plus 142 spot and a plus 115 spot. So you were running very, very nice. Also, we want to give you the opportunity to make a move on game 6 if you want to on Friday. We already have a look here from Durrell for Game 5 here in the West. But before we talk about the game that we all want to bet right now, we want to hear your thoughts on what happened last night in Game 5 in Miami. And are you interested in making anything official here on the show for Game 6? And no pressure. Take it away, my man. Dutch Boy Fresh in the house.
Yeah, man. To be completely honest with you, Jimmy, I'm thinking about tonight. I can't even think about tomorrow, to be honest with you. If you want to talk about last night, I guess I'll relive that motherfucking nightmare for you, my guy. Yeah, I was on the Heat. No secrets, you know. Look at this motherfucking smiley face. Hey, I let it do it. I let it go. It's cool. But yeah, you know, sometimes you take it on the chin, and I do think Boston was going to win this series. So in hindsight, I probably should have taken them to win game 5. But I didn't see it happening. I thought Miami coming out like that, getting punked like the way they did Eric Spo. Thought they'd have a little more heart. I thought your guy Kyle Lowry would do a little something. God
He's
damn.
been off all year though.
Yeah, he has
with his family falling apart, missing all those games. I don't want to say terrible things about the man who's the greatest Raptor of all time. Even though I didn't name my son Kyle, I named my son Carter. So you can call him the greatest Raptor of all time if you want. But he's been extremely disappointed.
Yeah, he's looked like a shell of himself, honestly. He shouldn't even been out there, but last night was real bad. I didn't know if it could get any worse than what we've seen, and it did. I mean, a 0 in every motherfucking column. Jimmy was not there. He couldn't buy a bucket. The whole fucking Heat team was pressing. Bam was a scary motherfucker, right? Like scared of Robert Williams. Look hesitant at every point, really. And he got there with the double-double at plus 130 that, I did mention on the show, but yeah, man, it was a rough night for me. I thought that he would show up in that third quarter, man. It was like that. It was a wrap. Shout out to the Celtics, though. They're a better team, a deeper team. They have the two best players on the court in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. In this series, Jimmy Butler's played out of his mind in the playoffs, but he's shrunk at the end. And maybe it's due to knee, something else, but he definitely hasn't been right the last couple games. But yeah, I believe the Celtics will handle. But it's a big number, though. I did glance at that. It's a big number, but yeah, I'll think about that maybe tonight or tomorrow after we hit him over the head in the Golden State.
Well, we also have great news for all of us here at Betting with the Bag. Game 1 of the NBA Finals is next Thursday. So we got Dutch on our show. We wouldn't want anybody else. Dutch on our show for Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, hey, our guy OJ, our guy Wham. He said Strus is on the milk carton, and oh my God, have we seen somebody been so high like the next MIA, the next Miami Vice to this motherfucker on Vice, right? Like. God damn, and he just not shy too about it. Just keep chucking. It's like get his ass out the fucking game. Blame it on the injury, whatever you gotta do. Get him the fuck out the game, please. That shit was stressful watching him play.
Yeah, it was. I don't. We have friends, and I was, like my girlfriend. She is like, she knows Razor has the $500 ticket on the Heat to win at 21. She's like. He's always cashing these big bets. Why aren't you? She's on. Razor's always cashing big bets. Look at another big bet for Razor. And what we want, and I don't know if he hedged it. I haven't asked Razor, but that's the reason why I've been cheering for the Heat is just Razor pick up a quick 10K. You know? So that's been in my head just, and because Razor told me to bet it too, and I didn't, and I could have got in at one point at 12-1, and I didn't do that. And I wish I had of just because I could have easily made a bet on the Celtics to take care of business and yeah.
This series been tough for me. I'm 2-3 in the series. I won Game 1 and Game 4 in this series, betting wise. From perspective, and I think really because heading into this series, I was pretty much thinking it was Celtics, but that trip to South Beach. I think it fucked with my mind a little bit. What they put out there, the South Beach is a beautiful thing, so it kind of had me going the other way. But yeah, I'm back where I need to be, and it's with the Leprechauns, man. I'm not fucking with the Heat no more.
You could tell that I've not been making enough money gambling because we didn't go to South Beach. We went to Central Florida.
Hey man, you got kids, bro. You got kids. Come on now.
All right, let's talk about this spot. West Finals, Game 5. Golden State up 3-1, and I've let go. You know, everyone knows I've let go of the Mavs futures that I have, but I bet them in Game 4, and I told myself, look, if I'm going to make it, because I've been making money on the Mavs throughout the playoffs, if I'm going to make more money on the Mavs again, then I'm gonna just put a regular old unit, which is now in NBA $150 on the Mavs in Game 5 at plus 270. We saw them open up, and when I saw plus 270, I bet it right away. I was like,
Right.
now we know, like that is not going to be there. That doesn't make sense, and it keeps dropping. It went down to 7 and 250. Now it's at 6.5 and 240 here, but it's 223 at circa, and I just think that the Mavs. Well, you know what? Let me not talk about what I think. We have someone on my show hitting 65%. Let's just talk about some of the. Let me just set a table here. First, we talked about the line history. Let's go over to the cash. 20,629 tickets here, and 30% of the tickets, 42%. Now this is spread. 42% of the cash on the Mavericks. Then we have 47% of tickets, 78% of cash on the over. I didn't talk about the line history of that over, so why don't we move over there right now? It's down to 6.5, and the totals dropped from 216.5 to 215.5. Although it did go up a half point, it dropped as low as 215. It's back up to 215.5. So a pace. I don't think I'm making a move on the total here, but it looks like the Mavs are a little more comfortable with the pace being a little faster than they want it to be. And they weren't at first. The pace has been going up, and they seem to be more comfortable here. Look, we know Warriors are 8-0 at home in this postseason. Average margin of victory, 15 points. After taking a 3-0 lead in the history of their franchise, they've never lost games 4 and 5 consecutively. So there's a lot, obviously, working against the Mavericks here. 3 questions or 3 possibilities, Dutch, and I want you to say which one is the most likely reason. We've heard what Wham thought was the most likely reason for what happened in Game 4. Daryl. We heard what Daryl's most likely reason for what happened in Game 4, and he laid it out why he thought Game 4 happened. But is it because Game 4 happened because the Mavericks, and it doesn't have to be all black and white, but because the Mavericks, gave the zone a different look, moved Luka to the wing? Is it because the other players, the help, all played well? Bullock, 6 for 10 from 3. Finney-Smith, 4 for 7. Klebo was hitting shots because the players that helped Luka all shot well? Or is it because the Warriors didn't care about losing Game 4 and didn't defend at the level that they're capable of?
I won't say they won't care. They didn't care about Game 4. I'm sure they would like to wrap it up, but they haven't defended the Mavs very well all series. If you by shot chart, they just got to make their shots. Simply, Jimmy, Game 4, the reason why that happened was because the motherfucking Mavericks made their shots. They haven't made their shots Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. 3-pointers, anything. They ain't made their shots, especially from the perimeter. They make their shots. They're a different basketball team. It just that's the way it works. So simply, the role players, you named them, all made their shots, and that's why. And then I believe the Mavericks have gotten whatever they wanted in every single game in this, maybe outside of Game 1. But they've gotten what they want, and their role players haven't stepped up. Luka missed 16 shots in Game 4. The role players played better, realistic. I don't want to say better, but shot the ball better than Luka in Game 4. We ain't seen that in any of these games. So it's simple to me. Bullock, these boys, they showed up and played basketball. DFS, who I shouted out over 10.5, easy, had 24, 23, I believe. He's been MIA the whole fucking series, so he was due. But yeah, and so on. Cleve, even Bertans got in on the fucking party. It was a ginger party too, so it was everybody thrown in. Even the ginger got a little love, bro. That type of party.
Nice to hear something positive about the Gingers.
Hey, I'm saying that type of party, bro.
So that takes us to your expectations in Game 5. Daryl moved on the Warriors at -7 at -104, and I told him, I was like, look, Daryl, looks to me, and this could change within 2 hours before game time when the public starts hammering the Warriors, but it looks to me like this is going to be 6.5 tomorrow. And he thinks that the 7 was a good price point. And he got in at the 7. Is it possible that the Mavericks, with no pressure whatsoever, and a coach who's done everything he can to take all the pressure off of them, like we're just getting started. This is all a learning experience. Is it possible that the Mavericks, with no pressure on them, can step up here in San Francisco and play the Warriors tough in Game 5?
Absolutely, it's possible. I believe it. I believe it will happen. I'm liking a little more early, Jim. On the money line a little. I got a lot of plays for this game. I'm not what they say, shoot or shoot. I'm shooting today, and I'm going down with the shit. Luka the motherfucking Don, the top gun in the NBA. And man, I'm telling you, man, he gonna show up tonight. He had a rough game. Game 4, he had 14 rebounds, 9 assists, 30 points, missed 16 shots. And he's the type of competitiveness he has. We've seen, believe me, you're gonna get the best out of Luka the Don tonight. And I believe, Maverick, they always need the goose. I believe Brunson's gonna be the goose tonight, man. He's the guy that I'm more confident in than anyone else in there. Will Bullock show up? Will DFS, Kleber, all these motherfuckers, any of these motherfuckers, please do. But I need Brunson to be Jalen Brunson tonight, and I believe he will be. But yeah, man, I'm all over the 7.5. I jumped on that. If we got a 7, I'm good with that full game. But I got plus 180 first half on the Mavericks. They're outside of game 1. They are, outside of game 1, Jim, they're plus 9 in the first half in points versus the Warriors. They played fairly good basketball in that first half. That third quarter seems to, get them, and they got that monkey off their back, so to say, in game 4 when they, scored 37 points, I believe it was, against the Warriors in that third quarter, going into the fourth quarter with a 29-point lead. So, I believe they're coming in this game with extreme confidence. I believe you're going to get the best out of Luka. I'm all over some Luka props here too, Jim. A little different here. Because everything is juiced with my guy Luka, because they know this motherfucker's about to get off. Luka the Dom going under 3.5 turnovers at plus 125. He's only went over this number one time in game 1. 5 out of the last 6 games, he's not went over 3. Has not had over 3 turnovers. This man's going to be playing basketball tonight. Top A1 basketball, Luka the motherfucking Don, under 3.5 turnovers at plus 125. The threes are juiced. This motherfucker will have 5 to 6, 7 threes tonight. He's going to be stroking that jumper. That jumper will be wet tonight in the state. Believe it. Over 5.5 plus threes at plus 188. And I'm said it. Like I said, we need a goose. We got Maverick. We got the top motherfucking gun. We need the goose. We're going Jalen Brunson over 19.5 points, minus 105. He had 31 last time he was in the state. He had 20 previously, so he's went over this number in 2 of the 4 games. I need the best Jalen Brunson tonight. I believe he plays big game basketball in big games. Look for him to show out. Hit 20 plus is easy for my man. I like it a lot, man. I like Luka. I like these boys. I think really what it comes down to is that defense. Put some pressure on them. I believe they got some confidence now that they can play with Golden State. Put some pressure on them and watch Golden State turn this motherfucking ball over with a little bit of pressure on them. I'm not saying that the Mavericks are going to come in here and win this game, but they're very, very, very capable of it. I believe it will be a close basketball game. And a touchdown and a hooker, man, that's good money. Give me the touchdown if that's all we got. And I love Luka to show out tonight, Jim. I really do. I think it's a big primetime basketball game for him.
I fucking love it. 5 looks from Dutch Boy Fresh. Let's go over a couple of them. So
this is the Luka shirt too. My fault. This is the Luka shirt. If you don't watch the show, it's "Thou shalt not try me." You know what I mean? This is the Luka shirt. You know I got the alpha for the biggest alpha in the league. It's Luka the Don tonight, bro. He gonna shine.
I love hearing all of this. We can beat your number for Brunson. We can give you a plus 114 on the 9.5.
Well, I love that.
We'll give you a plus 114. Thank you, Billy. Let's do some line shopping for Dutch. I found the plus 7 at minus 103. The plus 7 at minus 103. Do we want to look what it would cost for the hook?
No, we'll take that.
The plus.
I got the 7.5 early because I knew it was going to drop, but I knew a 7 everywhere when I looked this morning. So I was
excuse me, minus 107. Sorry, I had the wrong side. Yeah, 7.5 is minus 117. So plus 7 at minus 107. I'll see if Circa can beat that. Let's go over to Circa quick. So
you
that's
get the hook for 10 cents. I might actually take that hook at 1 if it's 107.
It is 107. The hook is minus 117.
Yeah, give me the 117. Fuck it. I'm gonna roll with the hooker tonight. We all get paid, even the hooker.
Done. Okay, that's locked in for you. Then
Big shout out to my guy Ron Crawford, DJ Big Boss, Mr. H-Town. I see y'all showing love. Much appreciated, man. Much love.
The first half, that's not a nice number over at Circa. Let's see what it
Yeah,
is
it's William
over-
Hill plus 180. It was available before I got on here. And BetMGM, it's 180.
See if I can be plus 176. Okay, so we'll give you that. We'll do the plus 180. First half money line plus 180. We have Luka under 3.5 turnovers at plus 125. Brunson over 19.5 points at plus 114. And then what was the threes?
Okay, so it's Luka over 5+ threes at plus 188.
Threes over 5 threes. Over 5 threes at minus.
And last
188.
time he was in Golden State, he had 5 threes. He went 5 or 10 from the 3-throw line. Coming off his worst shooting performance in this series, he's going to be stroking it from deep.
And sorry, what was the juice for the threes?
Plus 188.
Over 5 threes at plus 188. Chip Plylar says just pounded Luka props. Let's get it. So I'm on the Mavs money line at plus 270, but I sure see why you want to add Luka props. I've made it the whole season without betting a player prop, and it just feels like such a drug.
Yeah, I did very well myself cutting it out at the end, as you can see from my thing. But I've done pretty well here in the playoffs with these props, but I've kept them to a minimal. I have no more than, I believe, 7 to 8 props in this whole playoffs. And I believe I only clanked on one. I'd have to check the numbers. But yeah, man, it's Luka tonight. It's Jalen Brunson. It's going to be a show.
His Luka's player points on player prop market at Bet365 34.5.
Yeah, everything's too juiced for that. I believe that's probably good money, but you ain't gonna see me betting 34.5, bro. I'll find other ways to attack it.
Yeah, and I get it. I love it. I love it. So, Dutch Boy Fresh with his 65% year-long winning percentage against the spread here and with totals, making 5 moves. 5 moves. Kevin K says, wow, Dutch with the picks. Most dumb it down during the playoffs with 1 or 2. Dutch has a squad. He does. He has a full squad of act. This is really exciting, Dutch. Really fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you follow me, Jim, you know I do keep it low. But I mean, hey, I broke this game down. I really like this game, and I'm going with my guy Luka the Don. You know, and other things are juice. So you have to find other ways. And if you see value, hey man, I'm not going to be scared. Now the props are for me are a lower size unit than my spreads. But, you know, you track everything the way you track it. But, you know, I do bet less on my props. But, yeah, man, it's going to be a beautiful thing tonight. And the Mavs will show up in the Golden State.
Oh, I love it. So a review of Dutch's action. Dallas Mavericks full game plus 7.5 minus 117. Dallas Mavericks first half money line plus 180. Luka over 5 threes at plus 188. Jalen Brunson over 19.5 points at plus 114. Luka under 3.5 turnovers at plus 125 from Dutch Boy Fresh.
Good money.
Sitting at 65% on the season. We'll talk this record one more time as it's marvelous. 52 wins, 28 losses, 65% plus 22.48 units. ROI plus 28.1%. Average line minus 105. And next Thursday, game 1 of the NBA Finals, Dutch Boy Fresh will be right here on Betting with the Bag to tell us how he's going to get paid. I love it. Love working with you, Dutch. Spectacular work. Follow our guy Dutch on Twitter. Always putting out action. So much fun to cap with at Dutch Boy Fresh. And catch him today, 4 p.m. on NBA Pub Hub. Thank you for your time and effort and breakdowns. Dutch, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, I did want to mention, Jim, me and my guy Dabby Cav, everyone knows, big baseball dude, doing a lot of things. We're starting a new show. It's going to be probably Saturday, Sunday mornings. You know, got to fill in when we ain't got the bag in our life. So we're going to start off with the morning sesh. Beautiful thing. We're going to talk about sports, weed, lifestyle. What the motherfucking y'all going to do over the weekend? Just recap what we do in life. It's going to be a beautiful thing. So be sure to show your support, show the love. Working on the things right now. Got DJ Big Boss always, got the golden hand helping us out with some shit. So we're going to make it happen. It's going to be beautiful. So be sure to show some love, of course. You know what I mean?
Sweet, man. Morning sesh.
Yeah, the morning sesh.
Where we find it?
It's going to be right here on Pub Sports Radio, Saturday, 8 a.m. I believe start Saturday, 8 a.m. and we'll run it Saturday, Sunday, and of course, end it on Medicaid Monday. And then we'll let my man The Bag take over the rest of the week like we do.
Fuck yeah, man. That sounds fucking great, man.
Yeah, we need something for the weekends, you know?
Yeah, man. New show alert morning sesh right here on Pub Sports Radio. We also have a WNBA show popping off here on Pub Sports Radio, starring our man Tease. A lot of things going down here. A lot of
big shout out to our guy Cheese, but I won't be part of the WNBA. No, thank you, Jimmy. Big shout out to Tito. That's a little inside thing. I don't know if you know about that, but
I don't. But I've been when I first started betting WNBA, I would just bet unders, and I would get kicked out of bars for screaming. Like they would take offense, and it wasn't like I was like I legitimately get kicked out of bars. I'd be like, I'm making a bet here. It's not in fucking security pulled me out of bars for y'all.
Dude, yeah, bro, you're offending the ladies here, bro.
Oh, fuck, man.
I can see it now. Oh, that's beautiful.
Dutch, thanks for your hard work, and we'll be keeping an eye out for the new show morning sesh. There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. Thanks for joining us, my man, Dutchy. Let's review all action here on the show. We will start with NHL, and we had Mr. Gogster with New York Rangers, Carolina. My action is correlates with him, but I'm only making one bet. I'm on the under 5 at plus 121. Gogster's on no goal first 9 minutes and 30 seconds at plus 100. Game to go to OT at plus 308. And first period draw at plus 165. The move I came very, very close to making was 0-0 after the first. Maybe if this was like Stanley Cup Finals Game 1 on a standalone night, maybe I'd make that bet for smaller, but I'm not going to right now. He's also on Calgary Flames in regulation at plus 101. I couldn't do it. The more we talked about it, I thought I'd be able to do it. I couldn't do it, and I didn't do it. That's NHL. And, in fact, I thought that because there was a point yesterday where I was like, maybe I take both the Hurricanes and the Flames on the -1 line. In fact, after breaking down the Edmonton-Calgary game, I'm leaning towards Edmonton now all of a sudden. I just feel like these Flames are holding that stick real tight. In MLB, just like yesterday, I've started off on a loss. That late push towards that first 5 over, a mistake. We'll see if that hurts the bets I've made. I've also put asterisks on my spreadsheet. Maybe I'll open up a new spreadsheet for the bets I make before we discuss the games and see what the winning percentage is there. Jose, say hey, play of the days on the Rays plus 105. Ragoo is on the Rays at plus 110. Fading Nestor Cortez. Ragoo, Rockies, team total over 4 at plus 108. Guardians, Tigers, we stayed off, as we did with the Phillies, Braves. Ragoo's on the Twins, first 5 -0.5 at -114. Brewers, Cardinals, we stayed off. Say hey, play of the day number 2 is on the Red Sox, -112. Those were the 2 bets I added, I made before the game. Last night. I took the Red Sox first 5 -110 and Boston, Chicago White Sox first 5 over 4.5 -120. Interestingly enough, if anyone is interested, buy it. But the Red Sox at that time were -110 on the first 5, but just -105 in the game. They've now moved. But Ragoo got the Red Sox at -104. I'm going to add the Red Sox full game. The Ragoo moved on the Jays plus 148 and Jays team total over 3.5 at plus 106. Piker, poker addicted. This is number 2, wrong hole play of the day. Number 2 is on Toronto, LA, first 5 under 4. I'm going to jump with that and also take the Jays first 5 plus a half. I'm going to move on both those spots. Ragoo is on the team total over 5 -113 for the Dodgers, and Rangers A's he stayed off. In NBA, we had Dutch Boy Fresh drop a 5 spot. Mavs full game plus 7.5. Mavs first half plus 180. Luka over 5 threes at plus 188. Brunson over 19.5 points at plus 114. Luka under 3.5 turnovers at plus 125. And I'm on the Mavericks money line at plus 270. And there you have it. Friday is a huge show. We have Babano for NHL and MLB, and he's been lights out in NHL. His numbers aren't as gaudy as they were. Some of his futures didn't go through that he made with Loshak, but they're still just unbelievably impressive. We can't. Oh, and look at this. Rod Zawacki giving us the 10-star play today. Remember, Rod Zawacki didn't care at all about what the market was saying about the total in the Giants Mets game, and he cashed it in the second inning. So that's what Rod Zawacki does. Rod Zawacki, 10-star play today. Rangers money line in NHL. Thank you for sharing that with us, Rod. Spreadsheet play of the days. Also, Dallas Wings. Didn't have that, Ron. So thank you for sharing that with us. Kevin K says Ticats is those of you who ran with us last year. I had that 12-game winning streak in CFL last year. I want to beat up CFL, Kevin K. I love the CFL, but I'm still waiting for this players deal to go through. Did it go through? I need to find out.
We're talking about the CFL corner, Jim. Is that better? Is the CFL corner coming back?
Oh,
You're going to bring out the accent again, eh?
Well, Jesus. Can we see it? Can you pull it up for us? Do we have it?
We'll look in the archives and see it. Do you want some sad break? Oh, actually, there's the say A play of the day, but you want some sad breaking news for you here?
Okay.
Ray Liotta passes away at 67.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat. Man, he played such a big role in our.
I wanted to tell Dutch, but I knew he models his life after Ray, so I didn't want to break his heart too bad. And welcome to the CFL corner, by the way, too.
There it is. We love the CFL here on the show. The players rejected it, Kev. I saw that too. But not all teams went to practice, so I'm very interested. Eric Romero says this will be a repeat of Game 2, except Dallas will win. Mavs trifecta. God, Eric, I love seeing that. You guys have given me so much hope, but we know that can go away quickly. Stick with me, Jose, as we put a bow on this. Huge show tomorrow. Babano for NHL and MLB, and then Durrell in NBA. And Durrell, don't forget, Durrell's trying to get to 60% here on the season. Unfortunately, he did drop the Oladipo prop late and made it official, and I retweeted it. So, but Durrell is 99 and 70, 58.6% plus 24.22 units, ROI plus 14.33%, average line minus 104. And we've been seeing the spreadsheet plays of the day caching nonstop, your say hey plays of the day caching, and taint caching. So that'll be it. And then I'll get all those up to date, and then we'll just enjoy the summer. That's what we'll do.
I'll be fascinated to see what the say hey record is across all sports. It'll be very fascinating to see.
Yeah, I look forward to tracking it. And again, I'm going to do individual worksheets for it because I've fallen behind. So just with each day, so I can also show you or anyone exactly how it banged out. That's the only way I'd be comfortable doing it. All right. Thank you, Ron Crawford. And thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Schnitzel Schmo, Real Deal Prime, Billy Friedrich says 5.5 hours until Game 5 begins. Kevin K. Officer, a 50, Yash Yala, Cuban Connect in the house. Great to see you, Cuban Connect. Jared JB, Trot Wham, D Jenkins, Oakley Auxiliary. And there was the spreadsheet play there that he added, Dallas Wings right there. Chip Plylar, Eric Romero.
Jim, I would like to tell you,
please do.
Before we leave, my last little comment here. I think our relationship is going to be decided by games these next couple of days. You have a triple up spot on the Red Sox. I am a sort of a mini avatar for the Red Sox, so that'll be interesting. See if your frustrations come out on me, and if you're on the wrong side of history for the Celtics Warriors potential final, then I will be disappointed in you as well. So our relationship might take a strain in these next couple of weeks, and I'm excited to see what happens.
It's too bad the Warriors have Draymond Green, because if they need they're sort of a soft group, but then they have this
one guy
dog tough, but he's so tough. Mm-hmm. And so but I'm certainly leaning towards the Celtics, but you Draymond Green just gives them so much swagger and toughness and confidence, and they're so lucky they have Draymond Green with
5 games.
Because well, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I remember when the Celtics took care of the Lakers. I mean,
that was a wee young babe.
That was 5 games, right? And
they took care of their business. Was that the year that they came back from that super huge deficit against the Lakers too?
I don't. All I remember is Game 7 when they lost to Kobe, and I've told you guys this story. I just
Fucking Meta World Peace.
just put my best friend in palliative care, so we were all heavy. I throw on my Paul Pierce jersey, which I still have, and get to the bar, and we're all heavy because of my friend going to palliative, and we're sitting there, and we get there with 8 minutes left, and the Lakers are in control, and the Lakers, going to win Game 7 and win the NBA championship, and this dude, it's just Toronto, right? So there's a lot of this dude with a big gold chain, sitting at the table with all his boys, and he's like maybe 5'8", but he's big and heavy, and he gets up and he starts slow clapping. And my buddy Rob Pugh said, "Nice tits, Kobe." And like, oh man,
problem soon.
The guy jumped, smashed the whole table of drinks over trying to get to Rob. He got to Rob, but we were trying to block. He ripped Rob's whole shirt off and hit him once, and all the girls
shots him.
No, we were gonna get our asses kicked. All the girls are like trying to stop. So their best friends died, trying to get him to stop, and like we were gonna get stomped on. There was like 12 of them and 3 guys and like 4 girls,
Worth it.
Yeah. It'll be fun. It's going to be great. If it is Celtics Warriors, it may not be, but if it is, it's going to be absolutely spectacular. It's
going to be a fun time. Celtics in 5, and then we'll get the title up again on these Lakers. One more than the Lakers.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Get that cash. Let's have ourselves a day. I need one badly, very, very badly. Let's get that fucking cash. Big shows coming up. We have Prize Picks, The Walking Dead with Sharpie at 3:10 p.m., 4 p.m. NBA Pub Hub, 5:30 p.m. Say Hey Plays with Babano in the house. Get the fucking cash. Everybody get that fucking Leche. Hey, los bookmakers!